Hey, citizens, and welcome to another episode of Objection Crime Chatter. We are back. Hey, Christina, our lovely mod tonight. She says, hey, everyone, love you all. We are back. We haven't had a crime chatter. What was the last case that we covered? Y'all remember? Sorry about that. I was echoing because I have the YouTube open on another tab. I always forget that. Yes, finally feeling better, although I think I did mess up my throat on that Eagles game, that last play. I screamed so loud. Oh no, I might have set myself back a little bit, but I've been drinking some tea and stuff and it feeling a little better, but yeah, I screamed so loud. If y'all didn't watch that Eagles game, it was so insane, so insane. I want to start doing an objection sports channel, maybe Tuesday nights, because I'm still trying to get more people to join the around the phone kind of game show thing that I had planned. But because I've been really into sports, so many headlines coming out today, and yeah, that Eagles game was just wild. So um, as I let everyone in here, today's episode, we are doing the David Deep Dive timeline, his attorney, and more. So, we're going to get into who is David, what is this David true crime case that everyone's talking about, what is the timeline of events, the characters, the side characters, the attorneys, where LAPD is doing. We're going on a super deep dive with this. So, before we get started, though, as we welcome more people coming in here, I wanted to let me add this to the stage. Welcome, everybody. Oh, I have to remove this first. Okay. It's the 21st of September. So let's play this for y'all. Do you remember? The 21st of September. Okay, so anyways, I just thought that would be cheeky and cool as we let everyone come in. She said, Kenny said, love that. It's the 21st of September. Happy 21st of September, y'all. I'm glad to be back. I miss the community. I deep dived this case while I was sick, and I am bringing y'all the very best. I texted Christina earlier. I was like, I feel like I ate with this one because I plucked out the very best sources for this case. I actually linked the timelines in the description below, who you can follow. I'm giving y'all my secret sauce on who I'm following for the case and where I got all my info from. We deep dived Reddit, we deep dived X, we deep dived Google. We got you guys the best headlines out there. It's just going to be such a great show. I'm super excited on this one because it was one of my Roman empires, and I got to sleuth it all the way out while I was sick. So let me go ahead and let's just get right into it, y'all. What do you say? We're going to get right into it. Has anyone heard of this case, or is everyone coming in not knowing this case? Let's how do I remove this? Okay, remove this. Let me add that to the stage. And let's get into who is David. So we're going to get into who is David. New York-born singer and Coachella star, 20, is mysteriously linked to dead body probe. So I'm going to go ahead and really quick, Just Snooping says she barely heard about it. So Dave Neal was covering it. Okay, someone mentioned it. Cool. Yeah, I'm a little bit behind because I was sick, and so it was really trending last week. But nothing has happened over the weekend, so it's been 2 days since the latest news. Let me make myself smaller, and then let me get my ticker. Instead of for entertainment purposes, we have this one. Disclaimer: an accusation or allegation is not a finding of guilt or evidence of wrongdoing. All defendants are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. And so these are just allegations from citizens, from news outlets. So we're going to get into all of it. Obviously, it's all alleged. No one has been arrested. There is no indictment. No one has been named a suspect. Nothing like that yet. So that's what we're looking into. But obviously, suspect numero uno is David, because it was his vehicle that the body was found in. And we are going to uh, just get into it. Oh, yes. Attorney is attorney. That's what I use the abbreviation for. Yes. That's what attorney is for. It's an abbreviation for attorney. Um, oh, because that's why you were asking what is Addie. Yeah, that's attorney. So let's go ahead and start reading. Who is David? So here is David. Here he is with Billie Eilish. So let's just read through it. So we're gonna do 2 Daily Mail articles to kind of get into the case. Some of it might be repetitive, but I feel like it's by the end of this, you'll know frontwards and backwards what this case entails, because some of it's in the timelines, but I wanted to read this to you guys first before we got into the timeline, so you guys kind of had an idea while we're in the timelines. So these were the best 2 articles. It was Daily Mail that was coming in clutch. Joe Hutchinson. He says popular singer David has been thrust in the spotlight after a gory dead body was discovered in a car registered to his name in California. The 20-year-old real name, David Anthony Berk. So David is a play on his real name. He uses a 4 for an A. His brother also, we'll see later on, he has a brother. He also spells his name with differently um, to stand out. It says he was born in New York City before moving to Houston, Texas at a young age. And so here's where we're going to kind of talk about uh, at a young age, he moved. So he moved when he was 13. He used to live in Queens, New York, and then he moves to Houston, Texas. So pin that, because what happened that they had to move from New York to Houston? It could have been a job change, it could have been whatever. But the thing that gives me is that he started to get homeschooled when they moved him to Houston at 13 years old. He got homeschooled. So it says in his short career, the singer has risen to stardom, having released his first album just 6 months ago and making his debut performance at Coachella in April. Berks lives a star-studded life in Los Angeles, as he's been seen rubbing shoulders with the likes of Billie Eilish at ritzy fundraisers. David was also welcomed on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert earlier this year as a musical guest, where he wowed fans with his singles. As recently as June, the singer has been flying across the world for Paris Men's Fashion Week, attending glamour show for Amory and after parties. Earlier this year, David announced his world tour to his 2 million Instagram followers. This week, he was set to be performing in Missouri, Colorado, and Utah. But on September 8th, police in Los Angeles discovered a dead body hidden away in a Tesla that is registered to David. The singer has not been arrested, and there's no indication that he was involved in the ordeal. So this was written on the 9th. So this is before they figured out who was in the trunk. So let's keep that in mind. This is just kind of like a who is this guy? So he gets homeschooled when he's 13, right? And he starts to post videos. I believe it was September of 2018. September is kind of like a month for him. Like, he started posting on YouTube. It's when he releases his videos. It's when this girl that was found in his car, it's her birthday in that month. So September is really significant for some reason in his life. So it says Berk was homeschooled up until the 7th grade. No, this is incorrect. He wasn't homeschooled up until the 7th grade. He went to regular school up until 7th grade and then started getting homeschooled 8th grade through graduation of high school. So that's what makes me think, like, did he do something that made his parents be like, we got to homeschool him? Oh, Christina, your daughter is here. How cool. That is really, really cool that she's following the case too. Um, So yeah, he's very well known with Gen Z artists, because I know DFJ is like, would I know him? The way that I know him, I listen to his music, and I know him because I do a lot of edits, um, and like fan edits and like ships and stuff like that. It's what I used to do before I became citizen journalist. I used to do a lot more. I don't as much, but and he had a lot of like TikTok songs. So his most famous song, Here With Me, was a huge TikTok sound. And then he also had one of his songs in the show Invincible, which is a show I watch, and it's a really beautiful song. I mean, he makes beautiful music in my ears. I liked his music. Uh, oh, you don't know if she's here or not. You're at your grandma's party. Okay, you were just saying she follows it. Okay. So anyway, so let's continue. So he was in homeschool. He started getting homeschooled in 8th grade, revealing that he wasn't allowed to listen to anything other than gospel and classical music until he was 13. So then he starts to get homeschooled, right? And the story goes that his parents monitored his phone every week to make sure that he didn't have anything in his phone, right? But then when he started to get homeschooled when he was 13, and I thought it was like was it COVID or whatever, but no, this is 2018 when he's 13 because he was born in 2005. This was 2018, he's 13, and COVID wasn't until 2020. So no, I was like, something had to have happened that they moved from Queens, New York to Houston, Texas, maybe for a better life. I don't know. So to me, that was like a little pin in it about his childhood and who this guy is. It says, so when he got his school computer, and it doesn't say it here, but this is just other little tidbits that I found other places. Um, when he sorry about that. Where was it? Okay, gospel and classical music. So when he gets his school laptop, he starts to secretly on the laptop go on SoundCloud. So he downloads a SoundCloud on his school computer, and he starts to listen to XXXTentacion, um, Smoke Perp, I believe Little Mosey. So these are all kind of all these. They're kind of like rappers that are um, they kind of glorify violence a little bit in their music, and it's kind of like a lo-fi, kind of like emo style of music, like very kind of depressing, emotional. It If you listen to Billie Eilish, it's kind of like that where it's like it's very introspective and like very uh the only way I could describe it is emo music. So he starts to listen to that, and so I wonder if that started to change his like brain and how he thought. Because at the same time, this is when he starts to get into playing video games a ton. Because he says that he didn't have any socialization once he was homeschooled. So I don't think that they were socializing through like extracurricular activities or nothing. Because he constantly complains about how he didn't have any like human interaction other than his backyard. And when he turned 17, after he becomes famous, we'll get into that, but so here he is at 13, and he says he doesn't really get out much other than his backyard into the real world. So it seems like then they just kind of kept him home. And yeah, he learned classical piano. He knew how to play piano and stuff. And so, anyways, it says in an interview with V Man magazine, Berk told the outlet that he had aspirations of being a professional gamer. He wanted to be a streamer, like a gamer streamer, citing his love for the popular game Fortnite, uploading clips of him gaming to YouTube. So his first clip was uploaded in September of 2018 into a YouTube channel called Ant something. I forget what it's called, but um, I went to it, and it's basically Fortnite. And the first videos have no music and sound. So then it says later on, so at first he would just upload them with no songs. He started uploading them with songs, but he would frequently be hit with copyright strikes for using music over his videos. According to Berk, that's when his mom encouraged him to start his own music as a way to navigate not being hit with the complaints. He said, I started playing around with that and recorded my first song in my sister's closet. And so that was his studio. And that's like the whole joke is that he made all these songs from his phone on BandLab, and his mic was just like those like the Apple headphones, but the ones with the string, like the full, not like AirPods. And that would be his little mic. And he'd go into his sister's closet and record these songs that he would then put together onto these Fortnite montages of him playing. And he was kind of like me in a sense that he never showed his face. And then eventually he ends up showing himself like playing piano, and people start to take notice, and then he ends up doing these videos where he's singing like Alvin and the Chipmunk. He basically sings into the BandLab software and then speeds it up like Alvin and the Chipmunk. And his music as Alvin and the Chipmunk blew up. And then someone jokingly was like, "Hey, you should just sing it normal, like we want to hear your normal voice." And he's like, "If I get to a certain number of followers, then I'll do my normal voice." And so he does his normal voice, and then people start to like him and he takes off. So by the time he's 17, he is signed. He blew up on the music side. He wanted to blow up on the streamer side, and he's like, I wasn't getting any likes or anything on my streamer stuff, but on my music stuff, that's when he started his separate YouTube called David. He's like, I basically blew up overnight. So it says the first song I made was Runaway, and then I made You and I, which is the first song I ever put into a montage. I didn't expect much, but then people started using it in their montages, and I was like, okay, this could be something. So I kept making songs. He cited Little Pump's hit song Gucci Gang as being an influence on him, telling people earlier this year that his exposure to mainstream music made him go crazy. So uh, is this go crazy as in really go crazy, or go crazy as in he went crazy on music? Because at one point he says that he just started to emulate other people. Like, he's like, I never had life experiences on my own. So I would go look at other people, their life experiences, and then emulate it in my music, and then try to emulate how they acted or how they sang. He went on tour with SZA once he gets big. He's 17, 18 years old. I think he was 18 when he went on tour with SZA, maybe 19. But he says that when he was trying to make this new album that, didn't come out. I guess the original one came out and there was a deluxe version that was just supposed to come out, and he didn't release it. But he's saying, when he was trying to make that album, that he started to copy SZA, and it was like not working and not working. And then finally SZA's like, you just need to be yourself. And it's when he went back to his sister's closet and tried to make the songs and stuff, like on his phone. Obviously, he had like the best producers. I believe he worked with Benny Blanco on this album. But yeah, so it seemed like he emulated other people. I don't know if it's the music. We'll talk about it at the end, our question. Let me see if I can pull it up really quick so you guys can start thinking about the end question. Yeah, I'm giving you guys the whole side quest on how he got famous. Um, because yeah, like the story is just incredible. That's why I'm like, I feel like I ate with this one because I have so much information and knowledge on this. Um, what was I gonna do? Now I forgot what I was gonna do. Oh, the disclaimer. Let me put, I mean, not the disclaimer, the question. The question that y'all need to think about is, will the topics of death, violence, and metaphorical art be treated differently now? Because one of my things is whether he was influenced by this music, because it seemed like his parents were, he was in a Christian home. His parents were, he was going to church. Um, and we still don't know if he did this or not, but this is just, I'm just giving you guys like a background on who this guy is, who is now kind of being accused by the world of doing this. Um, but it seems like it was right here. This was the path where it seemed like it went wrong, was when he started getting homeschooled at 13th and then got into this music. We all know what happened to Bieber. Bieber was just busking with his guitar, having fun playing music. I believe Bieber was 12, 13 years old as well, and gets discovered, gets thrown into the music industry. And we all know allegedly what music is and what it does to people sometimes. And we saw the downfall of Bieber as well. So we just saw Little Nas X, which this reminds me a lot of, because he starts to get more effeminate. He starts to get all these piercings. He starts to dye his hair. It's like he literally chameleons himself, um, from from when we first see him, even, at 17 when he comes out. And it reminded me a lot of Little Nas X. But anyway, so let's continue with the story, because yeah. I keep forgetting about time. I'm just kind of like chilling, like, oh, okay, just talking. Okay, so here is them towing the Tesla out of the tow yard, and we'll get into the Tesla. Here he is performing at Coachella. This is where he fell. And a lot of people are like, what if he got a concussion here? This was in April at Coachella. You guys can see that's a pretty gnarly fall. And we know that concussions can do some crazy stuff. We remember Aaron Hernandez had the concussion, and there was all those allegations on him, and there's been a lot of violence that has been attributed to concussion. So that was a theory. So anyway, so he says, my mom was big on like, you're going to be the smartest kid in the world. You're going to be a genius. His mom would tell him. I listened to Mozart. I listened to Bach and Beethoven before admitting he secretly downloaded SoundCloud behind his parents' back. Berk's spot with the outer prior to says he was spotted by, I don't know what the sentence is, but basically he was in Coachella earlier this year and he went viral for suffering a nasty fall. Like he was on the up and up and everybody was like, David. And then he did this and then he was kind of like a laughing stock for a little bit. People were just making fun of him, memeing it. And he kind of like, he did pretty good PR. He owned it and, laughed along with it. And it seemed like he overcame it because he was still pretty popular here up until this point. Um, so he ends up face planting during his song. Despite the stunt going wrong, he was able to carry on the set and laughed off the embarrassment. Outside of his music, he has shared videos on TikTok of him reading the Bible. And he was always saying, like, I'm Christian and things like that. So before blowing up on social media and becoming a star, he was the opening act for SZA, performing to hundreds of thousands of fans for 6 weeks in 2023. So 2 years ago. So yes, he was 18 when he was on the SZA tour because he's 20 years old right now. So that's a little bit about who David is. And here's his family. I'm going to pull up a picture of his family really quick. And this is all public info, so no one's getting doxxed. So to the left here, you see David. Then you see his mom in the middle, his dad in the middle, his brother Caleb on the side. And Caleb, keep a pin on Caleb because Caleb will be an important character later. And then there's his little sister, the one whose closet he would write songs in. He also took her on tour, and she was with him at Coachella singing his song Here With Me, which he says was based on the movie Up, because he said he had no knowledge of like love life or anything. He would just watch TV shows and mostly like anime and fighting, like karate anime style stuff, which also comes into play. Was he, like, is this starting to change his brain? He's watching all this violence through these animes. He's listening to kind of violent music, emo, depression. He constantly is saying that when he was homeschooled, he didn't have access to the outside world, didn't have no friends. He talks about how he couldn't fall in love. All his friends were like falling in and out of relationships, which I think 13 is too young to date anyways, in my opinion. But, oh, good night, AC. That's okay. Oh, but she's still going to listen. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's just kind of a long one. It's my first one back, and I needed to get this out of my system. So thank y'all for like hanging with me and letting me get it out. But okay, so there's his family, there's his mom. He constantly featured his mom and dad. I don't know if they were still going on tour with him now that he was 20 with this tour that he was going on, but it seemed like in this last trip that he went to, which was to the Philippines, he took his little sister and his dad and mom were with him as well, and they were constantly on his TikTok. So seemed like they were a tight knit family. Oh, thank you, Khaleesi. I really missed you guys too. So I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. So let's get back into this this article. So here's the next little part of this article. This is how he came up. Jimmy Kimmel, Benny Blanco, and SZA helped David reach stardom. Now he faces heinous allegations over a missing girl. He got his start in music by making soundtracks for gaming videos. Then one of his songs went viral on TikTok, propelling him towards stardom. And by November 2023, he made his late night debut performing on Jimmy Kimmel at the age of 18. But where the world once seemed to be at David's feet, the weight of it now rests upon his shoulders after LAPD discovered the dismembered remains of a missing 15-year-old girl inside a Tesla registered in his name, sparking a homicide investigation. So it says dismembered, and I've seen a lot of sources saying dismembered, that she was found in a bag dismembered. So this is where we're getting into the true crime part of it. Now that you guys know who he is, how he came up, and it's an incredible story of how he came up, because he talks about how he went from like 0 to 60. He's like, then I was making millions of dollars by the following year once he gets discovered and everything. So we'll get into who discovered him and who's on his team in a second here. The same stars and collaborators who once championed David's rise are now scrambling to distance themselves from the romantic homicide singer as suspicions mount. And a lot of people have been sleuthing his song lyrics, a la Taylor Swift, new romantic style. Like, what's in the lyrics? Did he, kind of like what they're talking about, Drake and Kendrick, like, can you use lyrics in criminal court? Is there evidence in there? I believe in criminal court, you are allowed to use rap lyrics. And he was more of a singer than a rapper, I would say. He sung more than, I don't even think he really did rap. Um, but they call him a rapper for some reason. But yeah, so his song was called Romantic Homicide. And he's like, in the back of my mind, I killed you. And so I'm not going to get into all like that side of it, but there is like a side that's analyzing all the lyrics and everything in his album. In the space of a few days, fellow artists have unfollowed him en masse. Collaborations have been asked to be pulled from streaming platforms, and corporate brands have dropped him from ad campaigns. Those brands are Crocs and Hollister. And he had an ad campaign that had just started, and they basically shut everything down. They were like, his world tour has also been suspended indefinitely as investigators close in. So he was not able to finish out the US tour. And now the European tour is also canceled. It says, all the while, David, real name David Anthony Berk, has remained silent with all inquiries directed to the star's attorney, Blair Berk. We're going to get into Blair in a little bit, who has not responded to any requests for comments. She is so interesting. Blair Berk. She is the celebrity criminal attorney that celebrities call to make things go away. But it seems like he's in too deep. And we're going to get into her style and what I think is going to happen through her representation. And as the evidence comes in, we'll get into that. She previously represented the likes of Prince Andrew. She represented CeeLo. I'm saying he got away, but he got cleared of sexual abuse allegations. So she won that case. She's actually known for making her clients plea out when she feels like the case is done. There's even a review on her, I think it's Avo or something, where someone says like, that's not a good attorney. Like, she told me to just turn myself in. And maybe because she felt like the evidence was too strong. So that could be it. So we'll get into that in a minute. It says, on Wednesday, police raided a Hollywood Hills home Berk had been renting for $20,000 a month. Detectives were seen leaving with bags of evidence, including a laptop. No charges have yet been filed, and no persons of interest have been named in the case. Berk, 20, is said to be cooperating with investigators. So we'll get into what these shirts mean at the end, why he was selling these shirts, his morbid kind of art that he started to get into. And I don't know, I kind of blame the music industry, because I remember when Billie Eilish first came out, her songs were kind of emo, but it wasn't like, it didn't have to be paired up with such, her videos were crazy. And she was 13, 14 years old too, I believe, when she was making those crazy, like, what is this? What am I watching type of videos? Her and like black, like gunk, like coming out. And it was just some crazy. So I don't know if these are like the video producers and it's just the music world, but yeah, it's pretty crazy. So here is the girl that was found. Her name is Celeste Rivas Hernandez. So there is her picture. Now we know who we're talking about. Yes, we're going to get into the videos. I'm just going to show one animated video at the end and when we're posing the question. So again, the question that we're posing is, will the topics of death, violence, and metaphorical art be treated differently after this? And should they be treated differently? So keep a pin on that for the end. We're going to ask that question. Yes, she was reported missing. She's a minor and she was reported missing. Oh, you can't see her? Oh, did I not have that one up as I was reading it? My bad, y'all. Oh, wait, it was the wrong one. Why did I have, here we go. Yeah, I had the old one still up. Sorry, guys. So that's why I was like talking about the bloody shirts and y'all didn't know. Okay, can y'all see this one now? No. That was my bad, you guys. Thank you for letting me know. It didn't show her the picture. Okay, hold on. Let me share the screen again. I didn't switch the tab, y'all. That's what happened. So here is the next article that I was talking about. This is why I was talking about the bloody shirts. Sorry about that. And then here's the picture. There's Celeste Rivas Hernandez. So she was 14 years old. Oh, wait, why is it not working? Add to stage. No. That's weird. Wait, you do see her now? Okay. Okay. Yeah, she's a baby. Oh, we see the ad. Okay. Only, okay. Everybody good now? We're good? Okay, we're good. Always technical difficulties, right? Like, what the heck? So here's the bloody shirts that I was talking about too. that I was like, I don't know why they make this kind of art once, like these visuals. I don't know if it's the artists that are just emo. Because Billie Eilish, like when she first came out, it was like really pretty voice. It seemed like, but then it just like got darker and darker the further she got into the music industry. It was really crazy. So yeah, this is what I was reading about Blair Berk and everything here. So let's just continue. Here he is with Pharrell, Billie Eilish. I mean, he met Ed Sheeran with Benny Blanco. He met so many celebrities. He went into the K-pop world. The Stray Kids. He did a song with one of the lead singers. Um, really got into the K-pop stuff, and he started to get like infantilized. And I don't know if that's because he got stuck at 13, because he always said that like because he didn't have life experience, he was like he always felt like he was behind. So I don't know if that's why he was dating a young girl, because this we'll look into the timeline, but according to allegedly the timeline, he was in some kind of relationship with her, or at least talking to her, and one of the reasons why she ran away. So we'll get into that. It says the controversy erupted on September 8th with the horrifying discovery at a Hollywood tow yard where officers were called to investigate a putrid stench emanating from the front trunk of a black Tesla Model Y that had been on the lot for only 2 days. So it gets impounded, and we're going to get into the whole car evidence here soon. Inside, they found the partial decomposed remains of 15-year-old, and this is wrong. Everyone kept saying 15. She was 14 when she was missing, and she just had a birthday September 7th. So she would have been 15. And she was decomposed to the point where she was dead before her birthday. So she technically died at 14 years old. But I guess technically she'd be 15 because her birthday is September 7th. So she was sealed in a plastic bag, and it looked like somebody got an aerial view of when it was happening. It looked like a black tarp at first, and there was a black tarp when he was making these shirts at the bottom here, when he was, I guess, splashing the red paint on him. And I thought to myself, what if it was the same black tarp? But then in the police report, it said it was black plastic bags. So she was dismembered. I wonder if it was more than one bag, just one giant like compost bag, those really big ones. It says the teen from Lake Elsinore was reported missing by her family in May 2024 when she was just 13. We're going to hear from her teacher, who said she ran away twice. If you go on Facebook in her mom's profile, in February, she ran away and then she came back. And her mom's like, she's safe at home. And her mom spoke Spanish. She was from El Salvador. And so she would post in Spanish and it would translate it. And it's like, she's safe at home. Don't worry about her. So then she ran away again in April. And it seemed like they got her back in April as well. And then in May was when, so there's 3 missing persons flyers. And May is the last missing person flyer. And after that, it seems like her mom might have known, because she had a brother. So Celeste had she lived with her mom. I haven't heard anything about her having a dad. But there was she lived with her sister and she lived with her brother. Her brother seems kind of like gangster a little bit. I don't know if he is or not, but when I looked at his profile and stuff, I was like, and she wasn't living at home because her cousin says, oh, she was living with us when she ran away the last time. So I don't know if her parents knew that she had ran away with David or that she was with David, because her brother, allegedly, this is her brother. We're not even sure if this is actually her brother's account or not. It could be someone impersonating and saying it's her brother. I don't know. But he's basically saying that he knew and that he went to LAPD and that they had no evidence of like David having her. And another person said that they did sweep his LA home and she wasn't there. So I don't know if they had, like, if they knew about it or what, but it seemed like the mom stopped posting on Facebook because, I've worked missing people's cases, especially missing kids and missing little girls and stuff. And normally it's like the whole community comes, there's search groups, so because she had run away, I wonder if they were just like, okay, she's ran away, because her friends were in contact with her from May until late July, early August of this year. So we know that she was at least alive until August of this year, or late July, early August, last week of July, early August. So that's the timeline that we're working with, according to the alleged stuff that we found online of people saying, like, her friends talked to her and all this stuff. So anyways, as we continue, it says, it was alleged that Berk, and it's funny that him and his lawyer have the same last names except spelled differently. But anyway, so David was in an underage relationship with Rivas. So it seems like from the timeline, and we'll get into it, it seems that they first made contact when she was 12. A lot of people say that it was when she was 11 on Fortnite, because the Discord group for David didn't get started until September of 2022. Again, that date, September 20, September 2018 is when he uploads his first YouTube video streaming. September 2022 is when he uploads his first, or when he creates his Discord. And that's where there's record of him and Celeste talking in that Discord, which crazily enough, it's being deleted today. A bunch of posts, the mods are deleting stuff. So I hope that the LAPD got on that right away and downloaded everything that was in there, which I'm sure they did. If they're worth their salt, that would have been one of the very first places to go. Obviously, internet sleuths are helping as much as they can, because we've had people like in the Gabby Petito case. Internet sleuths, we saw the Blake Lively case too. We just work really efficiently and work really fast when we become obsessed with the case. So, that Discord group. It says Rivas' brother also told local media his family was aware of their alleged relationship. So this is Daily Mail saying Matthew Rivas claimed his sister left home to go see a movie with Berk in May of 2024, but never came home. He said Berk would often pick her up in the same Tesla that her body was later found in. And one of the Daily Mail sources claimed that Rivas ran away from home because her family didn't approve of her alleged relationship with Berk. So maybe that's what, her being from a broken home, because she would tweet stuff about being from a broken home, or not tweet, but Instagram. There's some kind of social media where she said that. The same source claims Rivas continued to keep in contact with their friends for more than a year after officially being reported missing. Because remember, she was missing May of 2024. And we're talking about her friends had contact with her through July of 2025. So just a month ago, 2 months ago, or early August, late July. A date and a cause of death for Rivas has not been confirmed. However, authorities' remains were in advanced. Sorry, I messed up. Okay, let's see. Said the girl appeared to have been dead for some time because her dismembered remains were in advanced state of decomposition. According to another article, they couldn't tell her eye color, her ethnicity, or her age. They could tell her height. So although she was dismembered, the torso must have been there, because if they could tell her height, I'm thinking like maybe her arms, maybe her, and we'll look at the video, his animated video, where there's a girl that's arms get dismembered in that video. So, we talked about inmate 214 in the Idaho 4 and other cases where life imitates art, imitates life. So I don't know how she was dismembered. We don't have details on how she was dismembered, but they couldn't figure out. So she was so decomposed that basically her eyes she must not have eyes, because if they couldn't figure out the eye color or the ethnicity. So I'm thinking her skin was completely, maybe it was just bones. I'm not sure. Months earlier, he performed at LA's coveted Coachella Festival, and then gone on Stephen Colbert. Although the performance has since been scrubbed from Colbert's channel. So everyone started scrubbing him. Kali Uchis, who's a Colombian singer, Spanish kind of rapper singer, she did a collab with him, and she's like, please take off the song. Like, I don't want it on Spotify, take it down, which hasn't been taken down yet. I don't know how long it takes, but yes, everyone's like, I want nothing to do with this guy. And he hasn't been charged with anything, just the vehicle. Berk's vehicle has been abandoned for several days near Doheny Place and Bluebird Avenue in the Hollywood Hills, close to Berk's 4-bedroom, 4-bathroom rental home. Berk has not publicly confirmed whether he knew Rivas, and investigators are now examining the images and social media posts that appear to show the pair together as they work to establish the nature of their connection. So here's some posts here. There is Celeste. She's hiding her face. Here she is also hiding her face. But there is one where she doesn't hide her face, and we'll look into that. Here he is with Benny Blanco telling his story. And so we'll get into the whole Benny Blanco of it too, and who was around him, all that stuff. At his shows, he would have funerals at his shows where he would bring a casket and have people like write notes to like their dead selves or something. So his whole tour, the one that he just went on, was like funeral themed. And he would always wrap his hand up, which I'm like, why is his hand wrapped in those first few shows? Did he hurt it doing something? Just saying. So there he is with Ray, and then here he is with Jenny Aiko, who's I love her and one of my favorites. But yeah, he was with all the stars. Like he was up and coming. Here he is with the Stray Kids, and that's Hyun Jin is who he did a song with over here. Um, and then it says, as the question continued to mount, the chorus of voices that once sang his praises has fallen silent, and in some cases turned their backs on him altogether. Singer-songwriter Carrie Uchis announced her followers on Instagram on Wednesday that she was working to get her Crashing collaboration removed from all streaming service. The announcement came amid a torrent of comments from outraged fans quizzing her over her ties with Berk, within hours of Rivas being publicly identified. So I had followers who sent me this case on the 8th when it came out that there was like, it was in his trunk and it was associated to him. And I remember texting him back and I was like, it's a nothing burger. He's on tour. His car probably got stolen. And I was like, it's a nothing burger. And then they text me again. And then more people started DMing me and saying, like, you really have to cover this case. You have to cover this case. They found the girl because it seems like TMZ broke the case. TMZ is the one who got like a tip from someone that David and Celeste were an item. And so they called the mom because they got sent the missing persons post or whatever. They called the mom. The mom's like, yeah, she had a boyfriend named David. So they were like, okay. And they go to the LAPD and give this information and call the tip number on the flyer, whatever, and say, like, this is the information that we have. And then literally she was, because they were trying to identify her, and I don't know if they were having trouble, but it seemed like immediately after TMZ made that call and that article was posted, they announced it's Celeste Rivas. And once they announced it was her, it was just over, because then the sleuths, like, it was like a wave of sleuthing. Y'all should have seen it in real time. I was sick in bed, so I got to see it like in real time as it was panning out. It was like, no, David is innocent. And like, people start like, I can't wait for the album to drop, because the album was going to drop on Friday. And so people still on Monday, Tuesday were like, oh, is the album going to drop? And, thinking it was still kind of like a nothing burger. But once the sleuths came out and started pulling up all the videos and all the evidence, and her teacher started speaking out, it got really, really crazy. So we're going to get into the evidence, and it's probably going to be a little longer than an hour. So I understand if some of you guys have to be part of replay crew, but it's a super deep dive. Remember our Drake and UMG one was pretty long too, but this is like the whole entire case all the way laid out. It's saying, Kari said, he's not my friend. I did a song with him, which is currently in the process of being taken down, given today's disturbing news, she wrote in response to a comment. As of Friday afternoon, the song was still accessible on Spotify. They've been contacted for comment. And okay, so other collaborations were Stray Kids, Hyun Jin, Laufey, 21 Savage, British singer Holly Humberstone. And he had just created an anthem for Fortnite. So literally he was on his second wave of up and come ups. Like, he was coming up once again. This was his first LP. So he released 2 EPs, but this was his first extended project. It was called Withered, and it came out April 25th. And he was coming out with a deluxe album that featured this song, which was the Fortnite anthem. So he was sponsored by Fortnite and Crocs and Hollister, and was literally just out there, super popular. This was his second like big thing. This was his first full-length album. The controversy surrounding him did hamper, or has done little to hamper, the popularity of his music. It was reported that even though he already boasts 35 monthly listeners on Spotify, he ended up being the biggest gainer, jumping up 63 parts to number 90 for most listened. Because why? People were listening to the songs, trying to figure out the lyrics, to like, they were sleuthing out the lyrics. So a bunch of people like jumped to Spotify to go listen to it. So something that happened with Extentacion when he was dating a girl, I don't know if she was a minor or not, but when he was dating her, he ends up breaking it off with her and kicking her out of the house. And then she unalives herself, and then he got more popular. It was really weird. And then people seem to kind of forget about it. So anyways, while still rich in listeners, he appeared to be losing friends. Dozens of fellow artists started to unfollow him. Tyler, the Creator, Daniel Caesar, Addison Rae, Tate McRae, Ice Spice. This is the who's who's of Gen Z artists. And look, here he is with all these artists. Rosalia, SZA, who he went on tour with, Hannah Bong, who he just had a hit with. So like all these people who were literally making music with him, and then it turns out that this happened. Fortnite's pages also unfollowed him. Um, Pokimane, who is one of like a big Fortnite streamer, I'm shocked and disturbed as everyone else finding this out, hoping justice will be served. My thoughts and prayers are with the victim's family. Um, it says he opened up for SZA, and then it says Billie Eilish, Rosalia, 21 Savage, and Benny Blanco were all people around him. He was on an international tour since early August. He performed in Boston, Montreal, and Toronto in late August, and in early September had stops in Detroit, Chicago, and Indianapolis. He had been due to perform in Seattle on Thursday, but that's when like shit hit the fan on Wednesday, when they were like, it's Celeste, and everybody started to sleuth. And so by Thursday, that Seattle concert was suspended, and then Friday's concert, he was going to perform at the Grammy Museum or something. It's like super big, and that was canceled. And then the album did not drop on Friday at 12 a.m. like it was supposed to. And then by Saturday, they canceled the rest of the European, the UK, and the Australia tour. So basically everything's canceled. The tour was focusing on death and remembrance. Fans were greeted by a casket and a guest book where they could pay their condolences to an alter ego that Berk channels in his music videos and live performances called Itami. So there's a lot of conspiracy theories about this being ritualistic and all this stuff. But you see him here at the bottom with the yellow hair. So this is like what he looked like. He's got piercings in his like sides of his nose, sides of his cheeks, sides of his jaw. I believe in his forehead. So just like a bunch of piercings. He dyed his hair yellow, and now I'm sounding all curmudgeon-y, like he's got piercings and hair color, but he did like a complete 180 change, like literally. He puts in blue eye contacts, and he looked entirely different for this like second wave of his stardom. So here's the shirts that, the bloody shirts that he was trying to go. And look, this was like the cover of one of his singles. It looks demonic to me. Like, especially what we know now. It's so crazy. But there's little Celeste again. And this is one of the first like FaceTimes that came up. So somebody shared this. This was someone being FaceTime by them. And it says, Celeste and David won't let me sleep. And this is them here. This is his house. It says Interscope Records announced that they were shelving a planned deluxe album. Crocs and Hollister also pulled their marketing campaigns. It says the Crocs campaign debuted on September 3rd and showcased Berk modeling Crocs and Hollister apparel in coordinated pastel looks. While the products remain for sale online, his face has been cropped out of all promo. The investigation is active, and a spokesperson for the LAPD told the Daily Mail that during Wednesday's night's search of Berk's rental, several items of evidence were recovered and will be analyzed by detective in the coming days. They were searching for blood evidence and DNA, according to TMZ. They used luminol. And a GoFundMe has been set up. The family is heartbroken, and we'll get into the GoFundMe. It's linked in the description. So now you guys know the story. We're going to get into the timeline. I know this is a lot, y'all, but if y'all are still with me, it gets crazy. We're literally being like little detectives. I posted earlier, they have not found her phone. So that's a good question. The high heat would have also helped made her decompose. Yeah. Yes, everyone keeps saying she's a baby. You feel like Billie has grown up. She seems pretty grounded because of her family. Otherwise, the industry is very toxic. Well, she just got really dark in her music. I had to stop listening to her. It just didn't feel right. Like, I don't know. It was like, it did something to my body. It was just really, really dark. It would make sense that they would push the sad, mysterious, yearning vibe. It probably sells well with the teen angst demographic. Yes, Gen Z. And that's let's bring up the question again. Really quick as we continue and about to get into the timeline and all the evidence. Will the topics of death and violence in metaphorical art be treated differently now? Like, what does this say about our society, and how are we building these kids? Like you said, the sad and mysterious emo death vibes, and we're putting this in kids' brains. Are we creating these people to like be desensitized to violence, and obviously this is all alleged, right? So we don't know if he's involved or what, but to me, it's just, I don't know. Let's continue. Maybe someone else was communicating with her friends. Maybe she was gone longer. That's a good one. At the beach. It could be. We've known cases before where they're communicating to the friends. So we're going to get into these two timelines. They're linked at the bottom. It says the Tesla was never reported as stolen. No, ACC, it wasn't. I try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, but I think it was never reported stolen. It def adds to the suspicion around him. Now, it was parked, and we're going to get into all the places where it was parked. I'm telling y'all, I have like a super good show. Yes, it's going to be long, but it's going to be juicy because I have these images of where, according to someone who talked to the neighbors, where the car was parked, because it's saying that it was moved around several times since May. And the final place that it was found at was around the corner from his house. And so for me, it's like if you're stealing a car, you're not going to leave it around the corner from the house. Jane says, I love Juicy. Thank you for sticking with me because I was like, I need to talk fast. Like it's already going to be an hour because I still got, we're going through the timeline and then the evidence and then all the players. So maybe I should have split it up into 2 episodes, but I remember Drake versus UMG took us a while. I feel like it's going to speed up once we get into evidence and it's less reading. But yeah, like I'm telling y'all, this was my magnus opus this week while I was sick. Like this is all I did. I was just putting together tabs. So bear with me. This is my I was sick detective work. So I appreciate y'all. And there's nothing enjoyable about this either because I'm like, oh, I enjoyed like putting it together, but I always constantly use the wrong word. It was more like it felt like, wow, I can educate someone on this case and now I understand it better because some of the things and why I'm so obsessed with true crime is because my mind doesn't understand it. Me deep diving how David grew up, it gave me like an insight into like his mind. What could he possibly be thinking? Could it be him? Could it not be him? It gave me just a better understanding of the whole case instead of it just being like, what the heck? This young girl in a trunk and some celebrity and like, it caused chaos in my mind. And I'm so nosy. I'm like, I just want to know. Oh, thank you, AC, for still being here. Jane says it's great for her because she didn't know anything. Yeah, so I'm about to let's get into this timeline, okay? What I love about this timeline, and it's linked below. You guys know I always come with the receipts and help y'all out with the cases. I'll link the document. We don't have an indictment yet for this, so there's no documents. But I always link this. So both of these timelines, and the reason why there's 2 is because I couldn't pick just one. They both had, I loved the layout of them and everything. And so you guys have seen all my work with like the Demore docket and the Diddy docket. I highlight a lot of dockets, the Justin Baldoni docket, Baldoni brief. This is what citizen sleuths are doing now. We are informing ourselves by putting together these websites, these timelines to inform the public. This is what we have. Let's work together and get information. And it's like Dave Neal said. He said, it's like a needle in a haystack when you've got all these citizens working for you, like you're doing the lawyers' work. We're kind of like little paralegals. And a lot of people said to stop posting in the David Reddit because he's a mod in there and they're like, you're posting all this stuff, but whatever. Let's look at the flyer here. They have this. This is beautiful. This is made with Perplexity Laugh. Beautiful timeline here. Here's the flyer. It says she left the house at 9 p.m. on Friday. Her brother said she went to go watch a movie. She was last seen in gray pants and a black sweater, a hat, and Hello Kitty sandals. Now, the Hello Kitty sandals were spotted on a girl who's backstage with David's brother when they were on tour. And somebody spotted a girl with Hello Kitty sandals. So when we get into alternate suspects, Caleb is on that list for me. Caleb is on that list. He would have access to the Tesla. Now, I don't know if he lived in the family home in Houston or if he was staying with his brother in that house. So we're going to look at other possible suspects outside of David here in a little bit, but this is her missing persons poster, the very last one, and to report her. And according to the Discord, people were putting in the Discord in May 2024, like ask him about the missing girl and all this other stuff. So it's really interesting on who knew what when. So this is a comprehensive investigation timeline. Now they have it color coded, confirmed facts in green, alleged unconfirmed in gold, and blue estimated timeline. I love this because there's so much misinformation going around. And that's why I kind of wanted to make this video because so much AI, just garbage that's like, oh, this is what happened. And I mean, I fell for it like 2 or 3 times on X when they said they arrested his bodyguard and the FBI had like a wanted, like somebody made an FBI wanted poster and was like, they're, breaking his bodyguard. There's FBI wants him. And then, oh, he's getting arrested. And it was like bad information. Oh, they found baby remains on the side of his house. It was false. So I love this timeline because it comes correct with view source down here. If you guys can see this, let me make it a little bit bigger. Is that good? Let me see how that looks. Yes. Okay. So this is where I've gotten two Roses Wild. I've gotten two different ones. Yellow shirt. Some people say it was yellow stud earrings and that it just said tube top, but not the color of the tube top. It just said tube top and black leggings and then yellow studs. But then other articles I saw, it said yellow tube top, yellow stud earrings, and a yellow bracelet. So I'm not sure, but she was obviously maybe found in a different shirt than the one she disappeared in, because if she disappeared in May of 2024, that was a whole year and a half ago, or a year, May, June, July, August, year and 3 months ago. So 15 months ago. And we know that her and she was seen in streams up through, I believe, April or January. There's pictures of at least her hand. She had a tattoo on her finger, and so did he. So that was another piece of evidence that they're going to bring in as far as connecting them, and we'll go into all the connections. Oh, thank you, Jane. Yes, everyone hit the like if you haven't already. I appreciate that, Jane. So let's get into this timeline. Celeste joins David's Discord service allegedly in 2021. Now, this I think is wrong. This is from the Economic Times, but I think it's wrong because the server wasn't created until September of 2022. The 2021 timeline, I believe, is when a lot of people say they met on Fortnite in 2021 when she was 11. So they met when she was 12, according to like the confirmed timeline. So this is unconfirmed, but according to the confirmed timeline, the Discord messages start in 2022, early Discord conversations. And I know it says unconfirmed, but these are the Discord conversation screenshots. And some people actually went and joined the Discord and confirmed that those screenshots were legit. They show direct conversations between David and user Celeste when she was 11 years old. This is not true because it was 2022 after her birthday in September. It was the end of September. So she would have been 12, indicating familiarity. David's social media post about Celeste. Resurface X Twitter post by David allegedly referencing wanting to be with someone despite circumstances believed by some to reference Celeste. So his old tweets were saying something about like it's not the right time for us. And that song that he says was inspired by the movie Up. It says, I don't care how long it takes as long as you're with me and you put a smile on my face. And so I'm like, I don't care how long it takes. Does that mean because she was 15? Or, she was at the time 13. So when she was 13, when she was 12, he was 17. So when he started his Discord chat, he was 17. And someone called out that like, oh, he only puts in he only talks to the underage girls or something. But then someone else replied like, oh, they have 18 plus. So according to people who were in the Discord, Celeste had an 18 plus on her Discord. Like, I guess there's like an age thing where it shows like your age. And she had put she was 18 plus. Someone at some point in 2023 had put, hey, can we start checking all these 18 pluses? I don't think they're 18 plus. And nothing was ever done in the Discord group. So I'm not saying that, this is okay or whatever. Or a lot of people say she didn't look like she could be 18, but I've seen some 18-year-olds that look young. And I've also seen some like 12-year-olds that look like they're like going on 20. So could or could not be, I don't know. It says photos of David and Celeste together. Photographs allegedly show David and Celeste together in casual settings when she would have been 12 to 13 years old. So this is in 2023 when he's 17, right? She would be 12 or 13. Leaks, and that's another thing. It's like, I feel like, how they say celebrities get stunted at the age they get famous? Well, he got famous at 17, but I feel like he got stunted once he got to homeschool at 13, because I swear I saw like 2 or 3 videos where he talks about that like, oh, I didn't get to experience love life and I had no relationships until like, I got big and I made it big. But literally he was having the secret relationship. Or no, when he was 17 is when he starts dating this girl. So I wonder if he was still stuck in that 13-year-old mentality because he wasn't out there associating with people, and just all of his life stuff was based on what he watched and what he listened to. So Okay, this keeps charging and uncharging. Let me just unplug my charger. Okay. So see, it says view source. So it says leak song Celeste was recorded December of 2023. TMZ had it. Oh, Celeste, the girl with my name tattooed on her chest. So she would have been 13 at this time. December 2023. She turned 13 in September. So she would have been 13. She was born in 2010. So, and here you can view the sources. So you guys, the timeline is at the bottom. If you guys want to go view these sources, this is confirmed. Obviously, TMZ, I guess they said that's confirmed. The song is out. It was a leaked song. Live stream video together. So this is January of 2024 before she disappears. She's on a stream with her. Audio says, "Are we Mosa? Can we delete all VODs?" So he says, she makes a comment about Epstein Island and Grape or something, and because people were saying like, "Dude, you're a pedo" or something. Oh, I don't know if I'll get in trouble for saying that. A PDF, you're a PDF file or something like that. People were saying stuff in the chat about her looking young, and then she made like a joke or something about like, and he's like, "Oh no, we got to end the stream, we got to end the stream," and then he asks his mod. So I'm not sure if she says like, "Oh, let's tell him about Epstein Island" or something. I don't know, but yeah, that was really weird. You can view, we're going to view the stream here. I don't know if she's going to say it, but I have it. So I have the video. So we'll get into that one. Teacher reports Celeste's relationship. Former teacher claims Celeste told him she met a rapper named David on social media that came to get her, and she ran away a month before being found in Hollywood and returned. So we have that video. We're going to show it to you. A Discord community discusses their relationship in March, saying he has a girlfriend named Celeste, with one message saying, "Drop the one with the missing girl Celeste," because people are like, "Drop the album, drop the music." And this is in March of 2024. So she had gone missing in February. Remember the first time? And then she went missing again in March. So maybe this was after her second disappearance. Someone put that in the chat, in the Discord. Celeste Rivas goes missing April 5th, 2024, at the age of 13th in Lake Elsinore, California. She was wearing this black Gap sweater, which later we see another girl named Celeste wearing. Missing report is filed in April. David's tattoo analysis, sometime between April and August 2024. He appears with it in September of 2024, the tattoo that says shh. One of the identifying factors on her body. So she must have had some skin, because they said she had a shh tattoo on her finger. And that's when the mom called TMZ. Or no, that's when TMZ called the mom, that's when the mom was like, "Well, I think it's my daughter because of the tattoo part. And I know she had a tattoo," which is crazy that the mom knew she was tattooed and she was underage. There was a screenshot that I didn't include, but it was basically somebody who said that they were at a tattoo party that David had, and that the tattoo artist refused to tattoo Celeste because she's like, she looks young. And then that David was like, "Well, she's got other tattoos, just tattoo her." And she was like, "No, just like you have an NDA, I have my protocol. I'm not going to tattoo her." And so, but then that person deleted the comment, the tattoo artist. So I don't know if it was true or not. Celeste disappears again in May of 2024. Discord references to the missing girl. They said, "Oh, drop the one with the missing girl" in August. So they have this twice, once in August and once in April. So I don't know. That might have been a typo there. He releases the Withered album in April 2025. His world tour starts August 5th. So a lot of people are putting the timeline between July 31st and August 5th before he started the tour. My theory is he was moving the car around himself maybe, and he did it like when she disappeared in May, because the car started moving around in May. Or maybe he was just using the car and parking it in different spots and it wasn't moving around. But people said it smelled from his back before, like they reported it smelling. But before, people thought that it was just rats and stuff because it was parked by the bushes and they had like a rat problem in the neighborhood. And so people just thought it was like a dead animal or something. So it took this brave person to be like, "Okay, that car's been parked there for 3 days." And it's no, at that point it didn't smell. They didn't even report a smell. They just were saying like, "Can you tow it?" Because I don't know if maybe David didn't know there's a rule that you can't park in the same spot, or maybe he did, and that's why he was moving it around. But then when he left in August, he couldn't move it around. So I think it was parked there for 3 weeks, maybe, or 3 days. I don't know. I don't remember. But we'll get into all the places that it was parked at and where it was found. Tesla abandoned in Hollywood Hills. It says on Bluebird Avenue, which was around the corner. Neighbors reported the foul odor and unusual appearance with dents, because I guess the car was a Tesla, but it was all dented up. And she was found in the front trunk, which we'll see the size of it and all that. Based on decomposition analysis, investigators estimate Celeste's body was placed in the Tesla approximately 5 days before the discovery on September 8th. And this is crime timelines, which this is estimated. This isn't confirmed. Whether some people say the decomposition must have been further along, because if they couldn't tell her eye color, that her body was in there for like a month or more. But it was picked up on September 7th, and then 3 days later, I believe, is when the tow lot called about the smell, and that's when the police went into the tow yard. Tesla towed from the Hollywood Hills September 6th. See, and then the body is discovered on the 8th. So 2 days later, it was towed on the 6th, and then 2 days later at the lot is when they discovered in the frunk. So I learned what a frunk is through all this. It's a front trunk. Word of the day is frunk. LAPD robbery homicide worked to identify severely decomposed remains, and then just said this is what she's wearing: tube top, black leggings, and the tattoo. Body was officially identified as Celeste Rivas on September 17th. And then there's a 12-hour search warrant issued on that same day on the house in the Hollywood Hills. And according to TMZ, they used luminol for evidence, and they seized a computer and multiple evidence bags. That same day, he cancels the scheduled Seattle show. Her family launches a GoFundMe. Corporate partnerships severed, but they severed the partnerships. Crocs and Hollister actually severed. This is actually wrong. On the 8th. So when the body was found in his car, they right away severed it. Additional evidence surfaces online. Photos allegedly of David paying money to individuals in Lake Elsinore surface. Claims of hush money payments. And when the teacher talks, he's like, I recognize that kid too, that he's giving like a paper bag and supposedly money to. So there's shots of that. And the teacher says that students came up to him and said that they were blackmailing him about Celeste being underage. By the 19th, the entire U.S. tour is canceled, and the LAPD confirmed multiple active leads, saying that they are following up on several leads and analyzing several items of evidence. So they have key evidence summaries here: the Tesla, the tattoos that they have, the leaked song Celeste showing association, the mother's statement that Celeste had a boyfriend named David, the forensic timeline showing David got a tattoo after Celeste's disappearance, the matching tattoos, Discord's chat logs from 2021 and 2024, photos allegedly showing David and Celeste together in person, and the live stream video. Investigation status: it is being investigated by the Robbery Homicide Division, LAPD. The cause of death has been deferred pending further investigation. There are no named suspects currently, and David was reportedly cooperating with authorities up until recently, where they said that everything is going through his attorney, Blair Berk, who is amazing attorney. We're going to look into her. These are the official statements from the LAPD, that they don't have no crime classification as to the mode or manner of death. So that's numero uno. That's what they're starting to figure out. What was the manner of death? They're trying to look for blood and all that. They can't arrest a suspect if they don't know what happened. David's representatives, this is on the 17th, David has been informed about what happened. Although he's still out on tour, he is fully cooperating with authorities. But then after that, they said no comments. Everything has to go through his Blair Berk, his defense attorney. And then Rivas' family statement. Here's the documentation, the flyer, and then the crime scene vehicle. So we're going to get into the second timeline. People from David's Discord claim David met Celeste on Fortnite. No date. So this is a little screenshot of where they said, oh, they met when she was on Fortnite. August 2022, the Discord service was created. Now, when I went to go look, he asks about it on August 19th. But when I went to go look at when the Discord was actually created, it said September of 2022. So he must have just been asking on the 19th. Yeah, look, September 7th, 2022. It was on her birthday. Oh, no, this is the song Romantic Homicide, which was on her birthday. But it was around the same time that he started the Discord service, I believe, to watch it. October 23rd, 2022, they have their first public interaction. Like, hi, David Bark. So this is David, and then there's Celeste. Is Celeste in here? David posts birthday suicide on Discord on Celeste's birthday in 2023. David releases the EP, The Lost Petals. David and Celeste share a Spotify playlist on September of 2023. Lamp on Discord posts a picture of Celeste hiding her face there, and then there's David. David makes a song entitled Celeste, December of that year. David goes live with Celeste. We have that video. I'll show it to you. It's a little bit bigger, the one that I have. David posted TikTok in February of 2024, which was one of the first times she ran away, when the therapist brings out the Hello Kitty girl I met in 2021. And she is seen wearing Hello Kitty all the time. And so, like I said, he was very infantile. It's like this new nostalgia thing with artists too. He would wear Labubu keychains and wear Hello Kitty and like have stuffies and like just very like infantile. That's what I'm saying. Like maybe he was dating a younger girl because he hadn't grown up yet. And it was really weird because a lot of his fans were in that age range, like 12 to 15. They were underage because he had like the stuffed animals and the Hello Kitty and all that stuff. It says, oh, then Celeste reposted this TikTok that said, when he went from boyfriend to my baby daddy. So a lot of people speculation that she was pregnant and that's why she was unalive. So it says, oh, so she ran away February 14th. This is when the first flyer came out right here. Please share this. This post is my daughter and I'm distressed. Does not appear. She has 24 hours missing and I already have the report and everything. Please call me. Celeste's TikTok, her last public repost was in February of 2024. February 16th of 2024 was the last time she reposted anything. It says February 20th, she comes back home. This is her mom, a screenshot saying she came back home. April 5th, she's missing again. Here's the second flyer. Oh no, we're missing the March flyer. There was another missing in March. And so then this is the April official flyer, the one that's going around. So user called Ponsalo shares the missing poster for Celeste stating she came back home in March but went missing again in April. Ponsalo is the guy who only mentioned her full name in Discord and commented, drop the missing person. So he's the one who commented. Alleged cousin claims that Celeste ran away 4 times total. Like, we didn't know where she was. She ran away 4 times and she lived with me when she ran away the last time. So she lived with her cousin apparently. Celeste seen backstage with David's brother. And so this one I am going to play. So there's the Hello Kitty slippers. You missed it. That's his brother. That's why I'm like, was his brother hanging out with her? Yeah, it's blinking, you miss it, but she's wearing Hello Kitty slippers and there's his brother. So was his brother dating her? Because his brother's younger than him. So, but then we have the video of, so here, she never showed her face, but it says a TikTok account named Yay Woo Woo, who had a familiar tattoo, posted a pic next to David. And then here she's wearing a yellow studded ring. Remember, she was wearing yellow studded jewelry. So whoever this was, and they had a tattoo with his name. It said David on the finger too. And he's like, I miss her, but obviously he's not showing. So here's his tattoo right here. So he had the tattoo. And here he is paying the kids allegedly. So somebody, a sleuth, looked at the blue lining here and put it into Google. I don't know how the heck they did it, but they figured out this was in Lake Elsinore. They found the exact spot. Look at these super sleuths. Same parking lines, matched them up, everything. And was like, this was around the corner from her house. There's the paper bag. Supposedly, they're saying that this is when he was paying the kids off. So it says David posted a video of him cleaning shoes similar to Celeste, February 2nd, 2025. So this is a year after she's gone. This is Celeste with the shoes. And Steph with the deets is also covering this, and she covered the shoe part. And here he is cleaning it. David releases Withered April 25th. And people said he started acting different after April too. Here he says, this girl's not in my life anymore, about the song he was writing. Some more videos. Friends later say they lost contact with her in July. She still had friends who were in contact with her. She seemed very broken to me, with me to believe she didn't want to go back home. What I meant was my sister and her friend lost all contact for over a month, since early or mid-August. I'm not too sure. And there was another point where she said it was late July. Celeste Rivas started appearing on streams with David and even wearing the same hoodie as Celeste Hernandez. So then he gets this like doppelganger lookalike girl to wear the same glasses as her. And I don't know if it was so people would think it was her, but she had the same name and everything. So he's hiding her face, but there's a right here. I think, will it play? No. But look, it's the same Gap hoodie that she was missing in. This girl is now wearing the Gap hoodie. And so there she is. Let me zoom in right here. There she is. This is Celeste Herrera. And look, the same big glasses that Celeste Rivas was wearing, and then the ponytails. Like her hair, so that because her hair is straight, so people would know that it was curly. But a lot of people are saying that this was like to make people think that she was still around. But this is scary. The same Gap hoodie. That's the scary part. David holds a funeral for his alter ego on his tour. David's car is brought to the tow yard September 2nd. So this one says September 2nd. The other one says September 6th. And it was around the corner from the house that his manager owned, Josh Marshall, but that he lived in. And so it's the same timeline, dismembered body, September 16th, the tattoo. So this is when she contacts TMZ. TMZ receives an anonymous tip, September 17th. And that's when the LAPD say it's her. So without this anonymous tip and then contacting the mother, and then LAPD goes and serves a search warrant. So here you see them with the brown paper bags taking out evidence. They said it was electronics and a computer, phones, computer, other equipment, and other evidence that we don't know that was in paper bags small enough. Former teacher says she was absent a lot and she disappeared after meeting Dave. We're going to go into the teacher video, and then Discord moderator puts out a statement. This was Friday, saying they didn't know and they thought she was 18, 19 based on her Discord role. So the little 18 plus logo. Statement also says moderators had minimal contact with David or his manager. Rest in peace. Hope this timeline is helpful. I'll correct it. So a couple inconsistencies we found there, but this was the other timeline that I really like. So we're going to get into the evidence now. I'm curious about the cameras in the Tesla. Yes, me too. Let me just get into the next. Who parked the car? We're going to get into that one as I read y'all's comments. Whose name is also Celeste, the other girl that he started hanging out with. So we see Celeste Rivas in these streams with him, and he's always kind of trying to hide her or whatever, and she's always trying to hide her face. Well, then all of a sudden in April, I believe, let me go look at the timeline. Was it April when she started? This Celeste Hernandez girl pops up, and she's 23, so she's of age. So a lot of people thought like, oh, he's trying to like undo the Celeste stuff. Like, is her real name even Celeste? No one's been able to find this other Celeste, but it seems like from her social media, her name is really Celeste Herrera, and she's 23 years old. So this says June or July of 2025 is when she starts appearing in the streams in the same hoodie. So here she is. And he tries to get her off the stream. He pushes her to the side, but I don't know. The same black glasses. I mean, she looks like her doppelganger. It's so crazy. And then the same sweater. Look, Gap and Gap. So, yes, tattoo, even some with red. So the David on her finger. Oh man, I lost audio and I wanted to play other stuff. How the heck did I lose audio? Oh well, I'll have to like check in with you guys to see if you can hear it. But that sucked. It said audio got lost. Let's say, yes, most killers are stupid. I love, is just Khaleesi still in here when she's like, they didn't know how to crime? Like, this is why you're not going around criming if you don't know how to crime? Yeah, he shouldn't have been stupid enough to let it sit out in a rich neighborhood and go on tour. That's the only thing that, like, doesn't make sense, yeah. But it's like, maybe he didn't think it through. Maybe he thought that it wouldn't smell through the bag. She pretended to be with his brother, but that means people knew she was underage and something was wrong. That's what I'm saying. Where was management? Like, even the mom, yeah, she was dating some guy named David. It's like, I mean, I get it that you can't like control your kid when they run away. It says we are deep enough, so you should be good, CJ. I still don't know how some people can and some can't. I have my phone plugged in, so everyone's sat. Okay, guys. Yeah, let's continue. Only crime once is stupid. If she was pregnant, that would be so bad. I know. Either she stole it and is a suspect, or he gave it to her and he is a suspect. The guy he lived with, yes, that's what I'm saying. But a lot of people say that they thought she was 18. The funeral thing is very weird, and also the girl part. Like I'm so sketched out by that girl part. So let's get into where the car was at. So here you see the different spots that it was parked at. Okay, I believe this one up here is where they found it. Let me look. No, it's this one here. This is where they found it. So the house, I believe, was over here around the corner. And can you guys see my pointer or no? Can y'all see the pointer when I point? Okay, well, the bottom left corner. Oh, talking about the clothes that she stole. No, what I'm thinking about. Oh, that's what you're talking about that she stole. I thought you meant the car. Um, yeah, I mean, maybe she could be an alternate suspect too. Like we've seen where the girlfriends get crazy. Obviously all alleged, but I honestly think it was just like a like let's make her look like Celeste because she was already unalived by then. Said June or July. I'm thinking it happened at the end of July. I don't know. Um, so let's look at the different spots in the car. So you see where it's straight up here. That's where I believe that's where it was found on Bluebird Avenue. And I don't know if y'all can see my little finger pointer, but I'm gonna point at it anyways. And then these are the other three spots. The house seems to be down here by where the lower car was parked. So this is based on witness testimony that from May until August, these are the places that it moved around. The Tesla Model Y finally rests at Bluebird Avenue. A neighbor calls the police about an abandoned vehicle. The Tesla gets towed to a local tow yard in West Hollywood. So nobody smelled anything when they attached the car or anything. And it's attached from the front, I believe, or maybe it's attached from the back. I don't know. But that's why I'm like, was she barely brand new, just put in there and she didn't smell yet? Was this recent? And then once she was in the lot, that's when she started stinking up. I don't know. Was it just 3 days of decomposition or was this months of decomposition? Workers discover a foul odor emitting from the trunk. David's previously rented house is around the corner to the abandoned car. So where one of the spots that it was parked down here in point A. So that's thanks to Reddit contributors who went through all the interviews of the neighbors in all the different outlets. So I hope that that cleared up where the car was parked. Okay, the pointer is good. All right, cool. Roses is already like, I think he did it. All right. The video is, I think, the most, I mean, don't they usually have to take inventory? What's funny is when they take a car, I don't think so. I think they just tow it. I don't think they like look through the car or anything. I think they just take it. It's just like somebody calls it in. I mean, and if it was locked up, they don't have the keys. How are they going to get into it? No, I think they just tow it and then wait for somebody. So SF investigates. I like him and I'm recommending him because I know a lot of people in the missing persons group don't like they have beef with him or whatever, say like, oh, you know, but I've seen him do boots on the ground work and he's one of the people that I put to follow on here because I like his work. He said that the car is already back at the impound lot and it's $1,200 to get it out. So I'm like, dang, they processed it that quick. Like, wouldn't they keep it until like a trial or something? I don't know. I don't think when they tow a car. No, I don't think they check the cars. Oh, maybe when their car was towed, maybe they do, but I don't know if they do or not. Let me see if I have any other images that I needed to put up. Okay, no, not yet. Okay, so as we continue on to the next one, it's TMZ saying cops shared the home for blood evidence. The LAPD used, so it was the LAPD Scientific Investigation Unit took 12 hours to search his home using luminol. Luminol is a chemical used by forensic investigators to detect blood at crime scenes. Obviously, we're all true crimers. Luminol is one of the big ones that has caught so many people. Luminol reacts with the iron and hemoglobin and it glows blue when it comes into contact with blood in dark rooms. Think of it as a black light for finding blood. And so this is police activity that night from a drone from TMZ. So you can barely kind of see it, but you see people here coming in and out of the house, little shadows. But they spent 12 hours there, so probably from the afternoon until late night. As for why the cops were looking for blood, it's significant because Celeste's body was found in the Tesla. The Tesla is registered in David's name. We're told investigators didn't just look for traces of blood on floors and surfaces, they also looked in sink drains. And if you know, you know. All true crimers know, always look in the sink drains. It's unclear if the luminol turned up any blood. And so here's the picture of them bringing in the bags. They also swept the home for fingerprints and collected hair samples to see if she was in there. We do not know if the prints and samples are significant in the investigation. David seems to be living in the home, which his manager, Josh Marshall, was renting for about $20,000 a month. TMZ contacted LAPD's robbery homicide division last week after speaking with Celeste's mom, who told us she had evidence that the unidentified body was her daughter. We then provided that info to the lead detective with her name and number. Days later, the body was identified as Celeste. Now, here they're saying that the mom contacted them and was the tipster, but in the first original article on TMZ, they were saying there was a tipster and then they contacted the mom, which I'm like, well, when the tip came in, shouldn't you have contacted law enforcement? But then again, I think they were just trying to sleuth it out. So either way, they broke the case, TMZ. So kudos to them, because who knows how long it would have taken to identify this girl's body. There appears to be several, or if she would have been identifiable. Like, we don't know. Did he dismember her fingers? We don't know. There appears to be several things linking David and Celeste, matching tattoos, song lyrics, and footage. So let's move on to the next one. Here is the Tesla that somebody found on Google Earth, parked in front of his home. So this is obviously his car. More evidence of the vehicle. Here we have more evidence of him wearing her bracelets. So there you see, and this is when he was on tour. And there is Celeste wearing the same bracelets. So again, connecting him to Celeste. Pink and white bracelets, as you see right there. And if you go back, here he is wearing the pink and white bracelets. Seemed like some kind of Hello Kitty connection. Could be they were, romantic bracelets they shared, but there's another connection. So we're going through all the evidence. Blue wig. Here is her wearing the blue wig, and she looks really young here. I don't know if she's 11 or if she's wearing like a young filter or what, but there's the blue wig, and then there he is with the blue wig. This is all courtesy of Citizen Sleuths. And then here in this stream, once again, if you look in the back here, you see the blue wig on his bed. Right here in the very corner. I don't know if y'all can see my pointer, but it's right there. You can see it. And as you go through the video, you can see a little bit more of it. Let me see. Yeah, it's right on his bed, and you can kind of just see the wig right there on the corner. So Citizen Sleuths spotted that as well. So the blue wig, the bracelet, and here's where we get into all of SF Investigate stuff. It appears here in a May 2024 Google Maps. This is his house, and it's parked in front of his house. And this is where we found out that it was $20,000, and it used to belong to Halle Berry, the house. There are a million black Teslas in LA. I don't have an idea if this is the same Tesla, but I wouldn't be surprised because it's parked in front of his house. So he found that. Then we have, this is where he said it was purchased in 2023 in Palo Alto, California. It's a Tesla Model X, not a Model Y as previously said. And they have finished processing the vehicle, and it is now back at an impound lot. And this is where they're saying that this is showing that it's been released by the Los Angeles Police Department, whatever. Here's the tow charge, and by pickup date 9/19, you can pick it up for $1,020. Pay the vehicle fee. So I don't know if that's just when the investigation is fully done, and that's just already in there. But SF Investigates is claiming that they're done with the. It says from impound records, it appears the evidence hold has been lifted, and it can be released to the owner upon payment of the impound fees. So that's the update with the car. Let's look to see. Let me open this up in a new window and see if it works, because you guys are going to need audio for this one. Let me know if you guys can hear this audio. So he's like, I media trained you. Let me open it bigger. Can you guys see this? Okay. No, his tour just got canceled. So he had a show in the US, his last two shows, Thursday and Friday, and then was going to go back out in October out in Europe, and everything just got canceled. Christina said, I can go to Palo Alto for research if you need. Christina, do some boots on the ground work outside the home. They're outside the home of, I mean, you could go and interview neighbors if you're up for it. Hey, if you want to go live your April O'Neil dream. I mean, it was kind of fun, but it's also hectic and tiring. I'm saying fun. There's nothing fun about this, but I mean, just to like go act out as a reporter and like find out stuff. But then again, we don't know who these people are that we're dealing with. Like, it could also be scary. So, random facts: scorpions also glow under black light. Yes, so that's kind of what it looks like that blue black light when you're hunting for scorpions. Yeah, this is interesting. Okay, so let's continue. Let's see if this plays. Okay, let me know, y'all, if this plays. If y'all can hear it. Could you guys hear that? Wait, could you guys hear that? Can someone say in the comments if they heard it? No, you don't hear anything. Okay. Let me see if I can figure out this audio real quick. Let me see. No sound. Okay. Let me stop sharing and then reshare. That might work. All right, let's see. Let's see if this works, y'all. Okay, let me know if y'all can hear it or not. Let's try one more time.
I media trained you.
No, you didn't.
That's controversial.
It's controversial of raping kids.
Really good.
Okay,
It's been a good one.
Bye, guys.
Mwah, 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 mwah. Oh my! Delete everything. Delete everything. Everything goes. Everything goes. Everything.
Before that, she does say something about Epstein Island. Is that in the comments on the side? So he says, I media trained you, deny? And she goes, no. But a lot of people think that this is Celeste with the straight hair because her hair doesn't look curly here. But I don't know. Y'all let me know if y'all think it's the Celeste with the straight hair or the other one. But if you guys look over here, yes, look, David Epstein. No, it says David Epstein flight list. David, can you death dive in Norway? No, but we can read lips because she whispers something to him prior to this. So I believe she's the one who says something about Epstein Island. But then he was like, what are you doing? I media trained you. So I'm going to play it one more time. And then she's like, oh, you got trained what? To grape girls?
I media trained you.
No, you didn't.
That's controversial.
It's controversial of raping kids.
Really good.
Okay,
It's been a good one.
Bye, guys.
Mwah, 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 mwah. Oh my! Delete everything. Delete everything. Everything goes. Everything goes. Everything.
And so he asked his mods to delete that. So yeah, you guys heard that. That's crazy, right? Like, and so here, I don't know, her face kind of looks like the other Celeste, but I don't know. Everyone's saying it's Celeste Rivas there. We're about a minute and 30 or an hour and 33 in. Let me try and get through all this evidence, y'all. There's more juicy evidence coming. Let me see if this one is a different angle here. Let me look. This is just a zoomed in angle on her. So it's the same video, but they just zoom in more on her.
It's controversial of raping kids.
Delete everything. Everything goes. Everything goes.
So that's the same one. Okay, now this is the other juicy one, teacher, okay? So who's ready for this one? Celeste Rivas' former teacher tells students she met David on social media. So he starts to do, and this account is gone, by the way, Julian Whoi, who shared this, a student in his class. And people were commenting under there that he was kind of a little sketchy, this teacher. So that was weird. I don't know if that was just trolls or if there was any truth to that or whatever, but they're like, why does he have a picture of a student in his phone? No, he's saying that the picture that TMZ had, the one you guys saw where she looked really young in the background, do you guys see it? That was actually taken in his classroom and by this poster or whatever. So he's showing the pictures from TMZ, and then he shows, you know, that picture of the kid who was getting the brown bag where they're saying that he was getting paid. He shows that picture that was also on TMZ and says that he recognizes that kid from his classroom. So that he recognized Celeste as a student and the kid that was supposedly allegedly getting paid. And so a lot of people were like, why is he talking about this? But he was trying to give a lesson on social media. So let me let you guys listen.
In my classroom, in front of this poster right here. Okay, hold up. I got another one because I got a picture on TMZ of this other kid exchanging stuff with the rapper who we alleged did this stuff. Hold on a second, because he's also in my classroom.
Wait, how long ago was
this? We all just found out yesterday who it was, but she's been missing since I taught her. So when I taught her, she met this dude on social media. He was a rapper in LA. He came and got her. She ran away from home. She was gone for like a month. The cops found her in Hollywood, brought her back to our school. She came back to our school, kind of told people this story. She disappeared again in May of that year, May of 2024. That's when her friends told me what happened, that it was this rapper. And then I found out yesterday that she's now dead in that rapper's car, cut into pieces. You want to know how they met? I feel like I just said it. Social media.
So this was not the long version where he shows the other kid. Let me see if I can find the long version. Were you guys able to hear that video? Let me see if I can find the actual one from TMZ. Celeste Rivas teacher. Because it's where he's like, this is the kid. It says it could be the smoking gun in the case. Let me see if the video's in here. Let's see.
Need a spotlight on your law firm? Hyper-target new clients in your area down to the zip.
Did he say it in there?
Learn how Flex data-driven ad solutions can drive more clients to your law firm. Connect with Flex.com.
Okay, what happened? Did it just freeze? Dang it. Okay, maybe he did say it in that one. Yeah, it seems like this just froze. I don't want this to freeze anything. Seems like the ads are freezing my stuff up. Oh no, I froze my stream. Y'all, I got the wheel of death. Dang it. I was doing so well. It was the ads. Yeah, that thing had too many ads. So let me just go back to so I did he say that part where he saw the other kid? But basically you guys hear it from the teacher's own mouth. So that what I had pulled up, it basically said that it could be the smoking gun because the teacher had the full story. He's like, the students are trying to blackmail him. And some people are like, why didn't the teacher go to the police? And I mean, rightfully so. People, you know, those are good questions to have. Let me X out of all these other tabs that we've already discussed. And I appreciate y'all. If y'all haven't hit the like yet, I appreciate y'all staying this long. If you just arrived, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Let me get rid of all these tabs because I don't want to get the wheel of death again. And there I go. I got it again. Okay, hold on. Maybe I'm clicking them too fast. Okay, here we go. Hold on. Okay, so that was the teacher. So now let's go into the frunk. So here is a picture of how big the frunk is. So not that big, and that's probably why he had to dismember her because she was 5'2". I mean, he might have been able to, and I say he, whoever did it, allegedly, and it says that there was a huge dent, but didn't say where the dent was at. Was it in the front of the car? How did the dent get there? Did he crash the vehicle at some point, or was that already there before her body went? But look how tiny it is. So maybe he whoever wasn't able to squeeze in there, and so that's why they dismembered it so that it could fit, and they thought it wasn't going to smell with the plastic bag. But that gives you an idea of that piece of evidence. Oh, let me share it again. Sorry about that. All right. So thanks everyone for sticking with me. The teacher was making a great point about social media. Yeah, because obviously on both ends, because think about it. He said that like he makes a comment about being on the computer for 9 hours straight wasn't good for his mental health, because he was doing school for 9 hours straight, I guess, on the computer, online school or whatever. And he's saying that it was detrimental to him because he wasn't socializing. So the thing with homeschool, it's like a lot of people um say like, oh, you can't get socialization, but one of the big parts about successfully homeschooling is like having the extra time to do extracurriculars. You don't have to have a typical 9-hour school day like most schools have, because think about it, the 9 hours are because of the stop and go, and so many kids have to be attended to. But if you're homeschooling, I don't know if she was homeschooling all 3 of her kids or just one, um, put them into extracurricular activities. They have so many homeschool co-ops and things. It was like he was craving socialization. So I wonder if that had anything to do with it. It's really scary, especially because I'm a big fan of homeschool, and I'm like, he was a product of homeschool, but I feel like because they isolated him so bad. Yes. Okay. So let's get into this last piece of evidence. There was 2 bodies found at the tow yard. There was another car that was found with the body, but they're saying that it's not associated. But I'm like, at first, that's why I was like, it's a nothing burger. When the citizen messaged me and they were like, oh, you got to cover this. And I was like, that doesn't seem like it's a nothing burger. They said that they wasn't associated. It's either, well, first I thought like maybe it's just like, somebody who chopped up girls and like threw them in impounded vehicles or something. Like it happened after the fact. But if neighbors saying that it was smelling, because that could be an alibi. I don't know how she got there, but if it's like, oh, curiously, somebody you knew. So it's starting to get harder and harder. It's starting to get harder and harder. And with that, we're going to get into his associates. Yeah, but they're saying that the other body had nothing to do with this. They're saying that that was like something separate, and they sleuthed that out, and it was nothing to do with this. So I didn't quite go down that rabbit hole, because once I saw that article where it was like, no LAPD. So let's get into who's around him, y'all. And I'm going to say alternate suspects, I guess, of who's around him. I mean, obviously, it doesn't make him a suspect because they were around him, but possibly had access to his vehicle. This is his tour manager, so I doubt he was there. This is Robert Morgenroth. Smoke Perp is the artist that he managed, and this is his day-to-day manager. So this is the person that would see him every day, that would probably see Celeste around him. And this rapper, Smoke Perp, is who he started listening to on the DL on SoundCloud. So his parents are thinking they're doing the right thing. This 13-year-old, they're raising him on Christian music. He was a choir boy. He went to, he was in the church choir. He played classical music on piano, was only allowed to listen to classical music. And he says until the age of 13, not because his parents allowed it, but because he was going behind his parents' back listening to these rappers. And I don't want to sound curmudgeon-y, like, these darn rappers, because back in my day, I listened to Snoop Dogg. Y'all know I rap. So I love like hip hop. I love, the lyricism, the beatboxing, everything. Like I'm in love with hip hop culture. But was it the best for his brain? It depends. This music lying on the ears of someone who's not capable and mature enough, doesn't have the frontal cortex. It says our frontal cortex doesn't fully mature until you're like 25 or something. And obviously I was young because, I was really young listening to like TLC and stuff I probably shouldn't have been listening to. But I don't know. Some people have stronger minds and can listen to it and not get, brainwashed by it. But it says Robert quickly jumped into the music industry after completing a college baseball career. His first experience touring was working for an entertainment travel agency in New York City. Then he worked in A&R. He managed tours in USA, Europe, Asia, and Australia. This year, his team will be performing at Coachella with Gucci Gang, who is Smoke Perp, Little Pump, and Gucci Mane. In 2019, he began to manage the artist Parsa and the producer Mike Zara, who were both emerging individuals. So this was like some event that he was in, but this is his day-to-day manager. Now let's go and look at his management company. This is the guy whose the lease was under, Josh Marshall, Arista Records and Smoke Perp, Little Mosey's manager. So these names, Smoke Perp was the guy he started listening to at 13. Little Mosey was also one of those rappers. Now, Little Mosey's sister came out and called out Interscope and said that the music industry is devilish and all kinds of stuff. So I don't have that video, but if you want to go down that rabbit hole, Little Mosey's sister, I didn't want to go down any conspiracy rabbit hole. I was so sat with like the players and just the story. But if you want to go into the Interscope record rabbit hole, Little Mosey's sister is how to get there. A new joint venture label focused. So they combine. So it says Marshall pictured above with Massey. So they are collaborating here for a new, so it's saying Arista Records and Mogul Vision. So Josh owns Mogul Vision. Okay. And so Arista and Mogul Vision launched a joint effort. It says David Massey is the Arista president and CEO. Now it says we're delighted to be partnering with them. Oh, so they're partnering to launch Mogul Vision Music. So Arista and Josh Marshall partnered to make Mogul Vision Music. And this was, it says last year Massey stepped down as CEO of Island Records for a joint venture with Sony Music that sees him only helming the relaunched Arista Records, the legendary label started by Clive Davis. And so we know the rumors around Clive Davis and all that. The music industry is wild, y'all. And I don't know. That's neither here nor there. Allegedly. I don't want no smoke. His new music published. So yeah. So this is what we know about the guy who was renting it out. This is Josh Marshall. This is his regular manager. This is who manages him. Not his day-to-day manager, but the lease was under his name. So was he living there with him? Did he just lease it out to him? That's the other player in the game. And so now we see this. It says, after his song Romantic Homicide went viral in 2022, 17-year-old David was signed at Interscope by Justin Lubliner, who also signed Billie Eilish. So this is his label, Darkroom. Darkroom founder, CEO Justin Lubliner guided Billie Eilish to global stardom. So that's why I said, like, all of a sudden she was in the same bloody clothes. Her music videos were dark. So I don't know if it's this label, Darkroom, that just turns these artists. When we fall asleep, where did we go? That was her debut. And yeah, it was a little dark. She made music with her brother Phineas. And so there's this guy around him too. We don't know if he was on his day-to-day around him, but this is who CEO Justin Lubliner. He signed to Darkroom and Interscope. So those were his two labels. This was like the label that signed him, and then his distributor was Interscope. And so here he is. This is Josh Marshall, the owner of Mogul Vision, who started to unfollow David on Instagram. So this is as of the 20th. Yeah, yesterday. Marshall unfollowed David. So he wants nothing to do with him now. Interesting. Mogul Vision is his management company. Here SF investigates, calls him out and says, why is the management company refusing to comment from day one on September 8th when there was a body found in the front of his Tesla? Apparently, his biggest sponsors couldn't get any reassurance, and they announced on September 9th that they had pulled his major campaigns. One of those campaigns had just launched on September 3rd. You have to assume his management would have done everything possible to prevent the collapse of big money deals like this if they could. Also, he brings in Blair Berk, which we're going to talk about. Blair Berk. We're at the Meet the Players. CJ does great investigative work. This was my magnus opus while I was sick, y'all. I was in bed, not able to talk. My throat was like on fire. It was so bad. Like I just kept being like, I just want to pour something cool down it. I wanted like cooling gel. Like nothing was soothing my throat. It was so bad. And so I just started to get into this case. Like, I know a lot of people got into Charlie Kirk, and there's a ton of stuff that happened with Blake Lively that I know I missed. But this was, I needed to get to the bottom of this. It was literally my Roman Empire. Goodbird says, hi humans, just got off work. I'm glad CJ's covering. Yes, it's been on my mind. Yes, it's a scary world. Too much behind the scenes is coming to light. And I'm not even bringing it all. I'm not bringing the disinfectant to the stream today. That's the whole other tinfoil stream. I'm literally just coming with the facts and the players, because when I do like docket deep dives and all that, that's what I like to see. It's like, what's the story? What's their background? That's what made me so mad about inmate 214 and the Idaho 4 is that I wanted to see his psychological records. I wanted to see, like, how did he grow up? Was he, like, I like to see who the person is and, like, what it's around. Like with Celeste Rivas is like, she came from a broken home. She was living with her aunts. Like, it gives me an idea of, like, what was happening. Like, was she being groomed by this guy? He was promising her, he started making millions at 17. Like, rabbit holes are for rabbits. Facts is what the public needs. Yeah. And I'm always down for a good conspiracy theory. Christina knows that, but I lately just don't want no smoke. Christina knows that about me. I'll stay away from cases like that, and I'll either like report on them once, like the Demore and Deseret, because people like it. Sometimes people will be like, please cover it, and I get a lot of followers who want me to cover it. I'll just cover it. I'll be like, this one time, and then I'll make sure, because one of the things that I also like to do is like, this is who you should follow if you want more info. Like, I don't withhold all my sources and where I get it, because I could easily just, report it and not tell you guys like where I'm getting it from, but I like to just give you guys, like, go research it on your own. These are the people to follow, like Lauren Conlin from Pop Crime TV. She does the same stuff I do, celebrity legal and crime and stuff. And a lot of people, will be like, well, don't send people over to the person that's already reporting, but it's like everybody reports on it. It's a big giant ocean. And, I keep up with it through her. So I have to give her the credit, because while I was sick, a lot of my info came, the one about the bloody shirts and stuff. And she created a timeline as well. And she had a pretty good starter for the timeline. So that's someone that, that rock case is not one to get into. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It is not. There's some cases that I'm just like, I'm not playing with those cases. Yeah, how much time I put into every episode I do and not complete the story. CJ nailed it. So let's keep going with Blair Berk, because this is one of my favorite parts of the story. And let me put myself lower so that you guys can see this bigger. This is one of my favorite parts of the story, because I was like, wait, what? It says, Blake Berk makes star's legal scrapes disappear. Not telling her what to do. Wait, what? I missed that. That you were trying to tell me what to do. I guess I must have missed the tow yard comment. But no, like, if followers ask me to cover something, I'll cover it. It just depends. Like, sometimes I'll be like, no, it's kids. Because this one, I even told, they were blowing me up on Wednesday. When was it? When they identified her on the 17th? I was getting tons of DMs. I got 14 DMs in one day. And they're like, and my first reply to the first 3 people was like, I don't cover kids. You don't know how to cover kids. And then when I said that to someone, they're like, well, she was a teenager and this is a celebrity and crime. You do both. And I was like, you know what? I can cover it. Like, when it's littler kids, it's worse for me. But I felt like, and we can help with the GoFundMe and stuff. So I don't know what happened over there about that comment. So let me just hide the comments. Christina saying that she'll be there. I will share with CJ because I am curious. You're going to go interview the neighbors? Ooh, go to the toy jar. Okay. Taking a shower, be right back. Okay. Good bitchin'. Well, we'll be here. We're getting into Blair Berk. So Blair Berk's client roster is a who's who of Hollywood. She is a Harvard Law School grad. Hot client at the moment was Mel Gibson. This was written a while back by CNN. Berk handed off the Lindsay Lohan case to Sean Hawley, but her clients include Leo DiCaprio, Reese Witherspoon, Heather Locklear, Halle Berry. Whether it's a scuffle with the paparazzi, Gerard Butler and Kanye West, an assault at Disney, Reese Witherspoon, a stalking victim, Ryan Seacrest, or a DUI, Heather and Kiefer Sutherland and Heather Locklear, Queen Latifah and Lindsay Lohan, Berk can vaporize a celebrity's sticky legal situation before it goes viral. So it's funny because for the first 10 days of this, 8 to 10 days of this, David was still touring. I mean, very few people knew about it. TMZ had reported it, but it was just like, oh, okay. Just like a blip. Like, he's cooperating. Okay, end of story. So I don't know if that was, the PR and her that did that, but it's gotten to the point where it might be, it says, Berk has managed to turn the tables with few exceptions. She's convinced the story with the Mel Gibson to open an extortion probe into the accuser. So she will turn it around. She got CeeLo off from SA charges. And then there was another case that she was in where she had them plead guilty. It was a football player, and he was texting and driving allegedly, and he hits a pedestrian and killed them. Well, they're saying you have no proof he was texting and driving, and it wasn't intentional or whatever. And so she ended up just getting him probation. That guy just got probation. He didn't get no jail time, no nothing. And then her civil suit, because she worked with a partner that does civil, his civil suit, they were basically like, oh, he didn't do it. Like, it wasn't gross negligence. It was more like an accident. So you can't prove damages. Like, he didn't intentionally do it. It was so crazy that he just got off scot-free. I was thinking of scotch. Blair's my girl. People probably need a drink after this, huh? This is a lot. Sorry, y'all. Okay, we're almost done. We're into the players. We're going to do the GoFundMe and the final question. So this is Berk. She's been doing it for 31 years. Berk did not set out to become a lawyer. She went to Harvard in 1990. She started handling entertainment cases. She's like, if I was in Washington, I would have defended congressmen. If I was in Detroit, I would have been defending car executives. But I'm in LA, so I'm she's doing celebrities. I deeply appreciate human flaws, is her quote. Blair Berk, attorney. Her first assignment was to defend Ozzy Osbourne, whose song lyrics were being blamed in a civil suit for a suicide of a Georgia teen. Berk listened to the tape, realized it had been remixed by the record company, and got the case thrown out. She dispatched a couple of other cases without fanfare, and when her mentor at the firm, Barry Tarlow, decided to branch out on his own, he invited her to come along, but she's since paired with someone else. So this is an older article. When a celebrity faces criminal charges, the stakes are high. The decisions of a lawyer can affect an entire franchise. She admires her clients, like Kiefer Sutherland, for what she considers their selfless decision to dispose of the DUI case and spend 48 days in jail so as not to disrupt production of his hit series. So sometimes she tells them, like, just plead guilty and get like the minimum in these DUI stuffs. I've seen her do it in the past. So is she going to say just plea so you don't get the death penalty? Does anybody know if California has a death penalty? I don't think it does it? Plea if you give us information? I don't know. She's married to a writer, producer, and has a daughter. She is test driving an electric Mini Cooper. I think celebrity culture has lost sight of how human and vulnerable we are in crisis. It must be very daunting to be someone who has fame but doesn't have someone to trust. And that's a theme that he constantly talked about, David, is how alone he felt and how fame, there was a couple day ones he lost and how it was just a whirlwind. So she was Harvey Weinstein's lawyer. As a feminist and a woman, I'm very proud of what I do. So she was at one point representing Harvey Weinstein for the SH charges, and I believe he lost on those. So maybe that was a loss for her there. And then we have, here she is in action. Let's see if this plays. So this is a case, Blair Berk delivering opening in the case against Monica Simontelli. And I just wanted to play a little short clip of this. Obviously, it's 31 minutes long, but just so we can see how she works, see how she talks.
The moment this woman was arrested 7.5 years ago, Monica has steadfastly maintained that she is innocent of these charges, and she has consistently pled not guilty in this case. Monica has from the start made clear that there was absolutely no reason, no desire that she would have ever wanted her husband Fabio to be dead. And you will see, ladies and gentlemen, with the evidence that will be presented at trial, not anything Ms. Silverman has said to you, which is certainly not evidence, nor do we believe it will be the evidence. And not anything I say right now, as the judge will instruct you. It is only the evidence you will receive at trial, which you have to base any decision you make on.
And so there she's talking about only the evidence you receive at trial, not anything. So she's really hardcore about evidence. And I mean, people are like, why haven't they arrested him? There's really nothing. It's circumstantial. So he knew her. People are like, well, they need to arrest him for grooming and there's no proof that they had a sexual relationship unless there's text messages or something. There's some screenshots going around, but there's been so much stuff that's been AI and forged that I don't believe a lot of that stuff. The Discord messages, obviously, you can see for yourself. But unless you can see that she was pregnant or that there was, relations or they found semen on her or something like that. I mean, what? He hung out with a minor? I mean, it's not illegal to hang out with a minor. I don't know if there's illegal, if grooming is illegal. I don't think it is. grooming a minor? I don't know, because I know when like there's teachers who like text students, I don't know if they do get, I think it's when they like make it physical. I'm not sure. Somebody in the chat knows, because I don't really cover kids like SA stuff like that. So I don't know how it works when they're underage, but they don't have any evidence. So they found her in the trunk. They don't have any evidence that he did anything. They don't even know what happened to her. They don't know. The funny part is that the dismembered stuff I've heard at some points, and then at other points I've heard it differently. And I don't know if she was dismembered or not, because I feel like that would play into like if she was dismembered or if she wasn't dismembered, because they're saying that they don't know if it's a homicide yet, but yet the robbery and homicide division is like investigating, but they haven't said we can't determine if it's a homicide because we don't know her death. But it's like, isn't it obvious it's a homicide if she was dismembered? She can't cut herself. Because I'm like, if she was just in the bag, maybe she put herself in the trunk in the bag, or she OD'd in the back, you know, Casey Anthony, where she got out of it and her kid was, I mean, she wasn't found in the back, but they supposedly said that she was put in a trunk. So there'd be more like likelihood for him. But right now, what do they have on him to make an arrest? That the car was registered to him? They don't know when the body, you know, they don't have anything on him. So anyways, this is Celeste Rivas' family post in their official statements. I've been reading through the comments. I want to clear something up. First, we're absolutely not trying to scam anyone. Every single donation is going directly where it's supposed to go. The GoFundMe was created by Celeste's tia, her auntie. She did post it, but later had to take it down because people were digging into her account and finding her personal info. Out of respect for their privacy and to protect them, we've decided to share it here instead. Adding on to this, we want to be clear that we did not know where Celeste was. So they're saying they didn't know, but yet there was another one where her cousin, this is a different cousin, her cousin was saying that they knew that she was gone with her boyfriend. So I don't know. Maybe they didn't know it was David. The police haven't shared any information about him with us either. Her funeral will be in 2 to 3 weeks. They're saying October 4th. When this is all over, we'll be deactivating this account. We are not clout chasing and we're not scamming. We're simply trying to honor Celeste. This fundraiser is simply about helping the family through an incredibly hard moment. We really appreciate everyone's support, kindness, gracias de corazón. That means thank you from the bottom of our heart for almost helping us reach the goal. And so I linked the GoFundMe down there. If you feel compelled, if you want to help lay Celeste Rivas Hernandez to rest. Their goal was 20,000. It seems like they've gone beyond the goal. If you want to donate extra for them to have extra, the funeral will be in 13 days on October 4th. And as you can see, the community has been donated, and they're saying this has been a tragic loss. She was a daughter, a sister, a cousin, and a friend. Her family is heartbroken. And then it's in Spanish because obviously she was Salvadorian. And so there she is. Those are the two pictures that they chose to present of her. And yeah, so the GoFundMe is linked at the bottom if you wanted to GoFundMe as we wrap up. This goes into a little bit of tinfoil theory, but this is where I'm going to bring up these pictures. It says, this was September 20th. 6ix9ine is accusing multiple rappers of being CSAMs and saying that they used Bad Baby, used it as an example when she was underage. I'm not going to play the clip, but basically, he's saying that rappers were getting, this is a known thing in that, music industry people. And obviously we're not saying anything about Drake, but when people were saying, oh, she was only 12. Well, look at how 12-year-olds have changed. Okay. This was Kylie Jenner at 12. And this is, she by 17 looked like she was 30. Okay. But this is when she was 12. This is what little girls dressed at. This is Northwest right now at 12. Both her and Blue Ivy have had bustiers. She does not look 12. So when people are like, oh, well, she was saying she was 18 and it wasn't believable, or it was, I don't know if you guys think she looked 12 or if she looked older, if she could have been 18 or what, and I'm not shaming these kids, but I'm just saying, like, this is, 12-year-olds don't really look like 12-year-olds anymore. They try to act grown, and some states have specific laws, says Christina. Okay, thank you. Yes, in one video, he does cut up his girlfriend and put her in the trunk of a car. Yep. So yeah, it could be life imitating art. But then you have, here's Drake with, and I'm not alleging anything. Here's Drake with Kylie. By the time she was 17, y'all remember what Kylie Jenner looked like? She had the contour and the lip fillers and she looked like she was in her 30s. She did not look like she was 16 or 17. But this is Drake at her 16th birthday kissing up on her. And there's always, rumors and allegedlys and all that stuff. But what I'm saying is, 6ix9ine is saying that this is something that's in the industry. I missed this screenshot. It was about, Berk. This is her most recent. It was the Otani because become a go-to for complicated manners ranging from criminal defense to defamation. And they worked with federal prosecutors to assure that Otani's right as a victim of massive theft were protected. So she won this case. It was his interpreter had stolen 17 million to support the gambling habit, and she won. So that was like a little sports side one, but I missed that screenshot. So anyways, let's get back to the suspects. So other suspects that it could be. So this is the end of it, y'all. We're coming to a close here. Thank y'all for anyone who's still here. David's younger brother, Caleb, and see how he spells it with the V instead of an A? Kavaleb, but it's Caleb, just like David spells it with the 4 instead of an A. He's still active on TikTok and reposting unrelated content, despite the murder of Celeste that his brother, here they're saying is 99% responsible of doing this, and there's no allegedly. I don't agree with that, but so here he is, and he looks really similar to him. But on that stream, it's obvious that it's David. So alternate suspect in my eyes is like, did he live there? If he didn't, and obviously this is alleged. I'm not trying to blame this kid or anything, but could be the brother. We saw the brother with Celeste as well. If he lived there, did he have access to the car? He said, David originally said other people drove that car when he was first questioned. So that's an alternative. Other people have brought up his bodyguard, Marky. Although his bodyguard basically was saying that he hadn't worked for him in a while. And I don't know if this was true or not, if it was a crank call, but supposedly the LAPD contacted him to talk to him. And he was like, I'm not available. So I don't know if this is legit or if it's just clickbait. But a lot of people think Marky might be an alternate suspect. He's saying he has nothing to do with it. So David was forced to remove his bloody shirt merch from his website amid the death investigation. And here he is again in that crazy picture that I told you all about. And here is Lauren Conlon, and that's who I said you guys should follow. She's been following this case. He was selling white button-down shirts with fake blood splatter for $35 on his site, but in the last 48 hours, they were removed. This is a really bad look. So this can all be used into evidence if it ends up being him. And down here was the black tarp. Let me see if I click on the TMZ article, if it shows the tarp. Yeah, look. You see that black tarp? This is what I originally thought she might have been drafted in or wrapped in. This is February 13th, 2025, the first time she went missing. So we know nothing had happened here yet because she went back home and then came back in March and then came back and then left again in April. But before I thought that it was a plastic bag, I saw this black tarp and I was like, is that it? So there's Celeste in the Gap shirt again and all that. But okay. And then Benny Blanco, Diddy Docket had some questions. What was Benny Blanco's relationship with David? And there's conspiracy theories that, like, all kinds of conspiracy theories with Benny. It says, what was Benny Blanco's relationship to the disease? Was he around Celeste? It seemed like they hung out. How frequently did Benny Blanco stream with David and were underage girls present? What does Benny Blanco know? So we're talking about witnesses now for a trial. Benny Blanco could be a witness. All those people that were working with him, Josh, Robert, his day-to-day manager, the person, the CEO of Darkroom. I don't know how often could his family, his mother, was Celeste around? If they were on tour, did he have Celeste and his sister around at the same time? Did they know her? Will the family be questioned? So I thought that was interesting. And then here's the video, okay? So here's the one video that I am going to play. I'm not going to play sound because I don't want to get copyright. She was 17 and he was 12. So yeah, that video to me was just, oh, this doesn't have a date because I got it from Reddit. Let me see if it says. No, it doesn't say when it was posted. Let me see. Ain't No Way music video. Let me see if it'll tell me when it was posted. Because I know that Romantic Homicide and some of those other videos were like way before when she was alive. So that's why it's like, was he, I'm saying Ain't No Way. I think people were just saying Ain't No Way. I don't know what this song was called. So I'm not sure when this was posted, but yeah, it's still pretty dark. And then there's that other video where he's putting someone in the trunk. There's another video where he's like in a bloody bed. There's another video where they're all being tortured, like roped up in like this box. So it's a lot of like gore porn. So now we get to our question. Will the topics of death and violence in metaphorical art be treated differently now? Before all these comments come in saying this is not what you should be caring about, there is a dead girl. I completely understand. It is undoubtedly the most tragic part of all this. I feel awful that she had to go through that and wouldn't wish that on anyone, especially a child. With that being said, I've also been thinking a lot about the future implications this will have on abstract art. I never thought it was wrong to use metaphorical references to death, violence in songs. Relationships make us feel some deep emotions and leave us in our darkest and most vulnerable moments within certain boundaries, of course. And I do enjoy when artists use extreme imagery to express their feelings of anger, sadness, pain. But now, not only will it feel off when you hear these extreme depictions in music, but I'm imagining that artists will also be afraid to use this type of imagery out of fear of being seen as a closeted serial killer. I'm curious how you guys think this will affect art in the future. So let's go ahead and put our question up. If you guys want to chime in, will the topics of death and violence in metaphorical art be treated differently? Let me see if I can make this. There we go. If you guys want to sound off in the comments as we finish this out. Oh, they're holding a vigil right now? Oh, can you say, if you send me the link in the comments, I can maybe pull it up if it's live. I assume the song Celeste was about the dead one, but I didn't know there was two. Roses, it probably is about the dead Celeste because it was in 2023. The second Celeste didn't appear until 2025. Yes, there is it's not animated of him putting a dismembered body in the trunk. Yes. I just here to say her mom wasn't paid off, nor was she being pimped by her sister. She doesn't have a sister. I live in Lake Elsinore, 9 minutes from this child. This should have never happened. Oh, Della Dank. Okay, well, give us the scoop if you know. So she doesn't have a sister. Okay. We thought she had a sister. There's a picture of her and another little girl, but could have been a cousin or something. So then she only had her brother and then her mom. So she just lived with her mom and her brother. And no, I don't think her mom was being paid off for the sister or anything like that. I think the mom knew she had a boyfriend named David. And according to the school, the friends knew. So I don't know. And the brother knew because he said that he tried to alert LAPD, but there wasn't enough evidence. But if you can give us any other scoop, Della Dink, that would be great as we're wrapping up here. He wasn't even in town when all this was happening. He was cooperating with the police, but now he got a lawyer. Yes. So when they found the car, he was not in town. And then, so that's why people are like, he's on tour. The car probably got stolen and he didn't realize it when they're like, oh, he didn't report it stolen. Well, if it got stolen, I mean, why would they report it if he was on tour? He didn't know. But then once it came out that it was towed from around the block of his house, no one's going to steal a car and park it around the corner. Come on now. That was when we thought it was found somewhere else. But yeah, so, you know, I believe that people around him and his management and stuff believed him up until it's, you know, this is a lot of people are saying like, this is going to be like a true crime documentary and all this stuff. Cause it's the way that it closed in on him is pretty insane. No, he is not being held in jail, ACC. He has not been arrested. They don't have any solid evidence of anything. It's just a body in his car. They don't have any fingerprints or anything that that's what I'm saying. They're going to have to fingerprint the bags, fingerprint her body. It's hard to wipe things off like that. Justice for Celeste, indeed. Yes. Justice for Celeste. Again, the GoFundMe is down at the bottom. Did I leave so for those who are part of Replay Crew, leave in the comments, will the topics of death, violence, and metaphorical art be treated differently now? Since I keep saying Coburger, but inmate 214, the Idaho 4, since that, and since a lot of this stuff that I've been seeing, like I can't really watch like Gen V. It's a show that's a spinoff of the show called The Boys. It's like teenagers that are like metahumans and stuff, and it is so graphic and so gory. Well, the new season just dropped, and while I was sick, I tried to watch an episode, and like I couldn't even get halfway through it because it was that bad. Like, I don't know if it was because of the David stuff and the dismemberment and stuff, and I was just like, in my mind, I was like, I don't want to see it. And then what happened with Charlie Kirk, you know? We saw that, like, it was so real, and I'm like, I don't even know if I can watch action movies anymore, like, after seeing that. It's just, I don't know. But for me, I do believe that there might be some changes in how we make music and what we're doing to like small children's brains. Like, what if he was corrupted by this music? Yeah, she says there's horrible things going around, Christina. Yes. I'm looking forward to that documentary. So yeah, someone's gonna pick it up because this is crazy. Thanks, CJ. My daughter wanted to watch this with me, so you've been on my TV. She's been into the case, and we want to say thanks to the chat, of course, Christina too. Even though we just watched. Okay, shout out to Missy's daughter. I appreciate you. We did a really good deep dive. I feel like Pam, Miss Pam, you're here. I love Pam whenever she makes an appearance. Sorry, I'm such a fangirl of Pam. I love her. All of the enablers should be prosecuted. Her parents knew who she was dating, the teachers, the friends, etc. Okay. I mean, that's the opinion of a lot of people. Della Jenkins, they're keeping it tight-lipped. It's an ongoing investigation, but I just want to clear that up about the rumors going around about her mom and her older sister. Well, thank you, Della Dank, for clearing that up. I just thought that she had a sister because there was pictures of her with a sister. And then there was those comments that she had a sister, but Ring cameras are the best evidence. Those will provide. And yes, Fortnite is a scary place for kids. We got Discord servers with the Charlie Kirk shooting. We have Roblox with the PDF file stuff that's going on. We have Reddit obviously has been accessible for a while. Where else? And now Fortnite and all these other games. So yeah, they're going into kids' spaces. Pam says, I don't think metaphorical art will be used to prosecute, but we will see. But do you feel that artists will start changing how they display things in this way because they don't want to come off as being psychopathic or if it becomes a thing where art imitates real life? Do you think that'll change the way that people start forming art because it off-puts people? Will it be less? Will it sell less? Are we going to go into a culture where we're going to be let's save our kids and let's not show this type of stuff, But given it's been going on since the 90s, we had rap videos with people getting shot and, big booty girls shaking their butts. And, we were 10 or 11 watching that on MTV. So I don't know, when we're going to shield children's minds and stuff. I'm a strong believer in that music does brainwash babies, protect them at all costs. And they were trying to, she has a younger sister. Okay. Oh, so that's why. Yeah, because I did see her in pictures with little girls. Okay. But I thought, because she was younger in the picture too, I'm thinking they were maybe, okay. Yes, this case is a meteor plant thing in Panama where the 2 stories I've been following. Wait, the meteor plant thing. I don't know about that case. Pam says, oh yes. Jane says, yes, it's child abuse. Well, I mean, it's just crazy. But I also think about these poor mothers, maybe they can't control their kids. They run away and what is she going to do? The police says it's a runaway. I can't do anything. I mean, we've seen it. We've seen it in many cases where they're go get my kid and they don't. Apparently there's a screenshot going around that they did go and get her from there or that they did go and see if she was there and that she wasn't, that they swept his home. So I don't know if those are legit or not. Yes, the way he describes his alter ego who commits murders that he has to solve was obnoxious. It's not a new concept. Movies and literature already covered that idea. He didn't do something new. And you know what? One of my favorite shows is Dexter. And I was just thinking about Dexter. And I'm does that glorify dismembering and covering up and stuff? But see, with Dexter, he was unaliving serial killers and bad people. So that's kind of where I'm oh, I can watch this show because it's not, I don't know. I have an affinity to Dexter, even though 3 or 4 people have gotten killed trying to him trying to cover up that he was, the Bay Harbor butcher. But for some reason I'm well, he's getting rid of serial killers. And I don't know, that's something that I have to think about. Cause I'm there was innocent people who died because of him. And that was what the season, no spoiler alert, but that's what the season covers on whether why do we glorify Dexter and why are we still rooting for Dexter when he's, he's the cause of a lot of these people's deaths. So if y'all haven't seen this last season, it made you think for sure. But I wonder if shows like that, like I said, we've seen Idaho 4, and I have to finish that series, but it's basically that he had stuff in his phone about this serial killer, and that serial killer who killed college kids was the basis of the movie Scream. Kevin Williamson, who wrote that script, saw that story in the news, and then he wrote Scream. And then Koberger is Googling this guy and then seeing oh, the movie Scream is based on him. And did he do this to gain notoriety? And now it's real life inspires art and art inspires real life again. Is it a sick cycle? I don't know. So as we wrap up here, let me just, Ozzy Osbourne, Kiss Metallica has influenced all of us. Parents are supposed to supplement hope in other images. Yeah. Because like I said, like I grew up on hip hop and rap, and like I was 10 to 12 years old listening to these songs like Tupac and Biggie and Jay-Z, like all these like crazy rap songs, which they weren't as low energy as like the rap today. Like the rap today just seems super low energy. Even Ye, most recent stuff was like really low energy. But yes, you're right, and I'm not out there unaliving or doing drive-bys or anything like that. It just depends if you have a weak mind or not. And it seemed like this kid was not being socialized according to what he's saying. These images should be monitored and discussed. Thank you, Pam. She's always so wise. I love that about her. Yes, monitoring and discussion. So if you have kids, yeah, I love Dexter, but I'm old enough to understand it. And if you have kids, yeah, that's one of the things that you can do, because DFJ and I always, when we do crime shows, it's like, what can you do? So here, what can you do after all this, so that you know all this information? Donate to the GoFundMe if you can. Have conversations if you have younger siblings or brothers or kids or sisters. Have these conversations with them. Find out what they're doing. Who are they talking to in Fortnite and Discord and all these games? Who are they glorifying? Yes, people glorify death to kids. And yeah, there's like, especially anime. So yes, let's just let me see what other screenshots I have here. Oh, so I have this one here. If you guys haven't joined my community, let me do a quick plug on my way out. If you guys haven't joined my Objection Crime Chatter community, we're up to 18 members over on X. So this is where I will update you guys on anything on this case. I have linked the links to SF Investigates, Lauren Conlin, and who else did I put there? Diddy Docket. To also follow on this case. Pam, I don't know if you're covering it, but if Miss Pam is covering it, go follow her. She does pretty good deep dives and stuff too. I will be updating on here, Objection Crime Chatter. And I'm going to try, like I said, post more on the YouTube community. But this is where you can find all the cases. Barry Morphew. He just got out of jail. That's a juicy one. And we're going to get back into Crime Chatter. I don't know if I'm going to be doing it every night, but I have a ton of cases and random stuff that I want to cover with Crime Chatter. So Crime Chatter is going to come back into the fold. I know I've been mostly focusing on celebrity chatter. I also want to start the sports chatter. So follow all my communities on X if you guys can. Quick plug. This community is still up. It's Reddit R David. This is where everyone is sleuthing. So if you are a citizen sleuth, want to continue to sleuth, they have the links to a Discord sub. Here they said that David was currently on the sub 1 minute ago. Let me see. It says the post I linked was taken down by an automat, but someone linked a different one that was supposed to actually be taken down by a mod. He is on the sub, but not for the post you linked. So apparently David was on the sub here. May have been deleted. So I don't know what was deleted there, but he was the last mod. So there was a couple mods and they all just, one of them left and then the other one I think got like kicked out today. So this is his community dedicated to 20-year-old singer. So people are not fans in here. Look how it feels to look at updates and it's just the same crap being posted over and over again. So if you're a citizen sleuth, this is where you would go, is to the R David on Reddit. I don't have an account. I don't really use Reddit anymore. I got a little bit too crazy with Survivor and they basically said that I was getting too crazy, but I'm like, I'm passionate about my Survivor. Like, let me talk my crap. I don't know what this one's about. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Did I pull up the tab? Yeah, that's R David. Oh, let me see. I believe that was it. I believe that's our show, y'all. Yep, that's all the tabs. Let me just pull this up again. So as we leave, really quick though, this is the family right here. So it seemed like he came from a wholesome Christian family. Like, what happened? Yes, I did get kicked out already. I didn't want to say it outright, but yeah, I got a little passionate about the last season of Survivor. Hey, I feel like I should be able to say, and it's funny because people were saying way worse stuff, but I think they just wanted to pick on me because I wasn't going with the flow. And they're mods. I joined his Discord. I'm gonna lurk. All right, see, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. I was married at 19. And you know what? A lot of people were also saying about the time, like, 12-year-old and a 17-year-old, they can't get him if they were both teenagers at the time. If they can prove that they were still 13 and 18, depending on the rules in California, if it's after 18 or, they call it some kind of law where it's like if it's close enough in age. I don't know if 5 years difference is close enough in age, but if they're both teenagers, then it's close enough in age. But, back in the day, there was 12-year-olds that were getting married off at that age and stuff. And it's just crazy. So I don't know if he just was not educated enough to know, like, hey, that's wrong. Like, he has a little sister. It says Alabama is 17. Alabama Barker, yes, Alabama is 17. And you don't, like, that's another one that got, picked up by rappers at 16, 17. The people say Tyga. And there's no consequences. Everybody knew Tyga and Kylie were dating when she was 17, right? He admitted so on a radio show. So it's 18 here in California. Okay, Deladang. These days, kids document everything. And yeah, so we don't know where is Celeste's phone. Is the FBI going to get into the phone? Is the FBI involved? And I hate to put his family up here, but the reason why I'm putting them up here is because I just keep thinking, like, what happened? Like, did they lose their son to the music industry? Did he, like, look at even his face in this picture. Like, he looks real dark. Like, was he like a good, fun kid? And then, like, what happened? What happened? How did a body end up in his trunk? I feel so bad for his mom. Like, we just watched the Tyler Robinson parents who had to turn their kid in. Like, these parents, like, it seemed like they were doing everything right, except for the fact that he got this school computer and had access to SoundCloud, started listening to these, rappers, and, got into the music industry. And who knows what happened. Yes, these kids have hella screenshot. It's chilling. You'll see it soon. Oh, Deladank. Yes, she was still 14. Deladank, he was 17 and she was 12, allegedly, when the Discord conversations started. That's the confirmed proof that we have. We have that the Discord was made in September of 2022, and we have the conversations, and based the fact that she was born September of 2010 and he was born in 2005, he was 16 going on 17, or already 17, and she was 12. And so now he's 20, and so she was 14 and he's 20. Let me see when David's date of birth is real quick. March. So he just turned 20 in March. So he would have been 20 and she would have been 14 at the time. So yeah, 7 years. So she would have been a freshman in high school and he would have been a 20-year-old. So like a college age. She was at his concert with him. Yes, she's pictured with his brother, Deladank, behind the stage in one of the recent videos. You're right. So Deladank, where she's wearing her Hello Kitty Crocs. Yeah, we got into that one earlier in the video. Decent people usually don't date 12-year-olds, but that's what I'm saying. He was stunted because he keeps saying, like, I couldn't write songs about love because I never experienced it and I didn't get the chance to while all my friends were falling in love. I'm just at home. He would make these TikToks. It's like, this is me when all my friends are falling in love and I'm just at home. So I'm trying to tell y'all, like, it seemed like he just got stunted at 13 when he got homeschooled and he just like stayed at that age. And so he had no, like, I don't know, but it's like, it's wrong. It's wrong. I don't know. But then again, maybe it's part of the music industry because we see these, rappers like 6ix9ine. 6ix9ine is saying, Tekashi 6ix9ine is saying, oh, this is a thing. This is a known thing. Bad Baby was 13 years old when she started her rap career. She was the Cash Me Outside girl. She went on Dr. Phil so he could save her. Let me see how old Bad Baby was when she was on Dr. Phil. And then I really got to go because people won't watch it if it's already 2.5 hours. But let me see how old Bad Baby was on Dr. Phil real quick. Let me see. Bad Baby on Dr. Phil. How old was Bad Baby on Dr. Phil? Okay, let's see. Bad Baby was 13 years old when she appeared on Dr. Phil. And then the music industry got a hold of her. This is in case y'all don't know who Bad Baby is. Let me go videos. Let's see let me go to images. I'm not going to play video. But this is the Cash Me Outside girl where she started talking crap to Dr. Phil saying, Cash Me Outside, how about that? So at this point, she had already been molested by her mom's boyfriend. But then when after this, at 13, she became famous overnight, and the music industry signed her as a rapper. And then her bodyguard was SAing her from the time she was 13 until she was 17, or like for 4 years or something. Allegedly, is what she's claiming, that her bodyguard was taking advantage of her. Not to mention that all these rappers were, according to Tekashi 6ix9ine, allegedly were having their way with her when she was underage, before she turned 18. At 18, she became an OnlyFans model. She holds the record, I believe, or Little Tay, I think, now holds the record. But yeah, Little Tay was also 12 years old and, you know, hanging out with these older rappers. So I don't know. Is this just the music industry? Is this just what happens? Oh, did I not pull up this? Hold on. Here's Bad Baby for those that don't know. She's the Catch Me Outside girl. Thank you, Christina. We don't see the pic. So there she is. This is the Catch Me Outside girl. She was 13 when she was on Dr. Phil. Yes, Roses, that they had a baby on the way, but I don't know if that's legit because it says deleted user. And if anyone else is a deleted user, it would also show up as deleted user. So anything that was deleted user, I didn't take as Bible. But yes, there could be. What is proven is in the timeline, which I think I already, let me see. No, in the timeline, I believe it's right here. Remember, there was the one piece where she, maybe it's not this timeline. Do I still have the other one? No, I don't have the other one up. But it was the part in the timeline where there's proof that she reposted something. It's not in this one. It's in the other one that I already closed out. But there was proof that that she reposted a video in February, right before her last post. She posted something that said, when your boyfriend becomes your baby daddy. Yeah, you can teach them all you want, but if they're being groomed, yeah, I think you just have to spend a lot of time with them. All these kids go into their bedrooms. I feel like you just have to like let them out of their bedroom, spend as much time, keep them occupied, and just hope for the best and monitor their like relationships with the kids. It's hard out there. I don't even know what kind of advice to tell y'all. Sorry about that, Christina, that y'all couldn't see the picture, but all right, you guys, I appreciate it all. Why did they homeschool at that age? See, we don't know. To protect him or to protect us. Yeah, I don't know. That's the $1 million question, Jane. They moved from Queens to Houston, maybe because Houston's not that great of a city. Shout out to Laura. Where's Laura? But my other mod and Christina. So I appreciate you guys. All is good, beautiful woman. She says thank you. But yeah, so yeah, she says thank you, CJ. Thank you to the mods, everybody. Tomorrow we'll be doing celebrity court chatter, and yeah, she sings Gucci flip flops. Christina, you're right. Tomorrow we'll be doing celebrity court chatter. I'm not sure, it'll be a surprise. I honestly, I know I have to catch up on Blake Lively stuff, but you guys pretty much caught up last week, so I don't know if I should do a Blake Lively because Bad Bunny just got sued, and I kind of want to do a Bad Bunny episode, so it'll be a surprise in the morning. So join me early in the morning, y'all, for all you late nights. Laura's off for the weekend. Okay, Christina. For some reason, I thought she was in here. Thank you, mods. Della Dunk, thank you for the inside scoop. If you follow me on X, Della Dunk, and you have any other scoops, if you want to drop any tips there, let me know. If you have anything else that you want to share or make clear about the family or anything else, I am on XC Journalist 24. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. I appreciate everyone's time. And thank you all for watching. Have a great one.